We're talking about what you're talking about.
You all ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
Dun, 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 dun.
This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Get real.
Welcome to DBL. We're grateful you're joining us. Today, police are facing some pretty tough questions about their response to the mass shooting at an elementary school of the Texas, of course, Robb Elementary. New footage has emerged of parents angrily confronting police for not going into the school sooner to stop the gunman. Let's take a look at that.
They're little kids. They don't know how to defend themselves. 6-year-old kids in there. They don't know how to defend themselves from a shooter.
We're parents. Take them the out.
All right, the timeline of events has also changed, so we want to keep you updated as close to possible. According to police, initially, police said the gunman was confronted by a school resource officer before entering the school. Now they're saying he entered the school, quote, unobstructed. Just check out this news conference yesterday with police who were not answering questions from reporters.
Can you explain to us how he was barricaded and why you guys cannot breach that door?
So I have taken all your questions into consideration.
Because we've been given a lot of bad information, so why don't you clear all of this up now and explain to us how it is that your officers who were in there for an hour, yes, rescuing people, but yet no one was able to get inside that room.
Shimon, we will circle back with you.
All right, we are also learning of reports that police did enter the school 4 minutes after the gunman entered. They then took fire. They then retreated, waiting for backup to respond. Now, we are getting a press conference as we speak, and I want to update you with what we've heard. This was minutes before we went on air. We now learn after those people were took some fire, those officers, 19 officers then also went into the school. They were told by their commander, this is no longer an active shooter situation and to stand down. This has become a barricaded subject problem and that the children were no longer in danger. We're also hearing reports that at that same time, gunshots were still being heard and 911 calls from children inside the school were still being said, we need help, we need help, we need help. What was your first thought, Jeff?
Before we start dissecting what the police did,
Sure.
Let's talk about why we're here.
Okay, fair.
Because of this kid, right? Because of this kid fired on all these innocent children. I want to make that the problem. That's the problem, and then we'll talk about how they reacted to that problem. That's the initial problem, and that's what we should be worrying about. How he got those guns, why he got those guns. That's what we should be worrying about. Now we could dissect the police, because if I were there, I watched this all night. A lot of parents are like, give me your gun. I'm going in to save my child. I don't understand how the police force works. I'm sure there's some sort of chain of command. They might have made some sort of mistake thinking he was barricaded. But then we were talking about this before, Tori. They retreated, but then also heard gunfire.
Correct.
So they had to know whatever assessment that was made at that time.
And by their commander is wrong.
Okay. We're hearing gunshots. He's no longer barricaded, and there's children in there. We need to go in. That's what you sign up for as a police officer.
I agree with you, Jeff. I'm so sorry to interrupt you. We're now hearing right now, they have confirmed they did make that mistake. The police are now confirming they made the mistake of saying the children were safe when they weren't safe. I will say they also, just so you know, it took another hour for U.S. border tactical gear to finally breach, shoot, and kill the murderer. So
I would like, again, I want to hear Lindsay's. I would just like to, if they would say, we're outgunned. We retreated because we were outgunned. Or we made the mistake. I'd like the police force to come forth with the truth. They're saying that now. They're confirming they made a mistake right now at the press conference, right now. Okay.
And it's just like days after this incident happened, parents lost and had the worst trauma you can probably ever imagine. And then they're getting fed lies and incorrect information. And so all you, at the very least, want from your police department would be accountability and honesty. And so I can't imagine being a parent there fighting to try to, what you hear and what you see with your own eyes, to go save your kid. And they're telling other people, don't go in and save the kids. And we're still hearing more information, but who can you trust in those situations, especially in a place like Texas, where the solutions that we're hearing are arm the schools, lock the doors. So in a gun-heavy state, which I understand, people should have the right to own their guns responsibly. Most gun owners do. But in that state, the doors weren't locked. There was no security at the school. So how then are people in Texas specifically protecting kids? What's the plan? Because all the ideas that have been presented by leaders in Texas have been some of the ideas that the school failed to do. And they had resource officers available that just for some reason weren't there that day. And you can never predict a mass shooting. You can never predict a death. But all people are asking for is some accountability and some plan of action about how you intend to protect little second to fourth graders. At the very least, protect those people. And that's what I think people are so frustrated about, because imagine being a parent that lost a kid and then getting fed lies, knowing that you were standing right there
and could hear
what was happening, but they're telling the national public that's not true.
I also have to say here, which is really interesting, is that their cameras were out in what you saw. And at least one parent I saw was handcuffed. Now, they weren't arrested by the police because they were trying to rush the school. We are hearing reports there was pepper spray.
You see it
on some of the parents.
You see
right.
No, but you see it in the police officer's hand.
You've seen it? Okay,
yeah.
I haven't seen it, so I'm glad you could confirm that. That is almost more maddening. That the only violence they could find to do was on the parents themselves. And I also heard reports parents were trying to smash windows using anything they could to get their kids out. So I think there will be a federal investigation. I think the FBI will be called in. Joaquin Castro, he is a Democrat representative from Texas. He's already called for the FBI to investigate this entire police response. But again, this isn't the main issue.
I'm glad you said that, because I was going to reiterate that. Right. I think there should be an investigation, because if these men don't have what it takes to go in to a burning building, you shouldn't be a firefighter.
Amen.
Right?
Amen. Amen. But again, it's the shooter that is causing all these ripples.
Absolutely.
We should be clear about that. Coming up next on DBL, we're going to change gears. A veteran trial attorney joins us live to give us his take on which way he thinks the decision will go in the Johnny Depp-Amber Heard trial, and our interview with a crime-fighting duo who turned the tables on scammers. I love these people. How they've managed to help a bunch of people with their sneaky, sneaky skills.
Closed cap.
This June, DBL isn't holding back.
I've already spent my time and all of my sanity on trying to make you happy.
I like a little cheese on my potatoes. That's what's going on in my head.
That's what we need more of, conversations in this country.
Like this show. Thank you. DBL is all new every day.
Yeah, so of the scripted questions, feel free to go off script too, because he wants the discussion, he wants the back and forth, and he really wants to understand what you all personally think of the case.
It seems like he's thinking Amber Heard's going to win this. Is that?
Yeah,
She started crying again, real tears.
She didn't real tear. I didn't see
that
real
wasn't
tear.
real tears for you?
Yeah,
A
he's
little powder there, maybe.
focused on it from a
Maybe
purely,
blush, I put the
from a,
wrong
like
one
a pure legal standpoint.
Got it.
Which is
like based on the arguments
Yes.
argued,
Yes.
you had the better argument.
Yes.
Got it.
Exactly.
So not
And
like our other lady.
Yeah, not on the like skeptical that
I'm gonna
it's
say
become.
I'm gonna say is she a moron? Is that
Also,
bad?
because it comes down to what his analysis is more than what we made it as the public and
Yeah.
what we feel.
No, I
it's
mean,
about law.
He was saying it comes down to if you go through her op-ed
Entire
line by
op-ed.
line, it's literally just, did she defame anyone, or is this violating someone's constitutional rights? And if it's not, she wins.
Because they can't base it on insinuation.
Yeah.
It has to
I have
actually.
I'll have some back
Yeah,
for him, because Mark likes to.
He likes to fight with
He
you.
likes to fight. He likes
He
to
does
fight.
like to fight
So I'm
with
gonna
you.
pick. I'm gonna pick a
Your
little
hair
fight
looks
with
good
him.
again.
Have fun.
Tori gets mad when my hair looks good.
Why?
Doesn't it look good?
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think it's.
I'm going to Houston this weekend and it's just too humid out there.
Is it on?
Yeah, my hair would be in full
While you were
afro.
talking.
I think he looks great and it's annoying.
This is the only way it could just stay still.
It looks annoying when he looks good. I don't like that.
Yes.
Consider, for instance, this line, quote, "Imagine a powerful man is a ship, like the Titanic. The ship, the Titanic, is Mr. Depp. And Ms. Heard was the iceberg that sank him.
Because in Mr. Depp's world, you don't leave Mr. Depp. And if you do, he will start a campaign of global humiliation against you.
Was that you?
They stuck with this analogy really long.
That was weird. The Titanic.
Whose lawyer was that?
I don't know. That was not good. Welcome back. Attorneys for Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are making their closing arguments today. But despite capturing everyone's attention, there still seems to be some confusion on what this defamation trial is actually about. So for an actual legal perspective, not just like me, Tori, faking it, we are joined by former prosecutor and veteran trial attorney Mark Eiglarsh. Excuse me, someone was sneezing. God bless you. Mark, hello. Welcome to Live TV. What are you thinking about the whole trial?
Okay, people are picking sides like we're at a sporting event. It's not how it works in a court of law. You don't root for your side regardless of the facts and circumstances. This case is about one thing, people. Court of public opinion can be about whatever you want it to be. I don't want to interfere with people's craziness. But in the court of law, it's about one thing, and it's about one thing that people have not read. The Wall Street Journal article. He's suing because he claims that what she authored and had published on December 18, 2018 was defamatory. It was unlawful. It should not have been published. And so most people haven't read it. They don't know what's in it. And yet they're jumping on Team Heard or Team Depp.
That's
Mark,
what we do.
Yeah, that's what we do over here, buddy.
Captain Jack Sparrow.
Good to see you. But Mark, to counter that though, isn't Johnny Depp, I know this isn't a legal question, but isn't he kind of getting what he wants out of this trial? Kind of his name and career back, even if he doesn't win?
Is he? Is Hollywood going to put him in the next Pirates of the Caribbean? That's yet to be seen. I don't know. I learned too many things about him that I didn't want to learn. Quite frankly, it didn't help in my eyes. But again, you know, what's Hollywood going to do? You know, maybe they'll give him a role. And so maybe he wins. Legally, though, which is the only thing I care about, I don't know why he brought this lawsuit.
We got a Team Amber fan over here.
This direct approach. So on the stand yesterday, Amber admitted to writing the op-ed because she said Johnny was a, quote, powerful man. So did that help or hurt her case?
It depends. It could work on both sides, right? One side saying you only did that because you wanted to get everybody's attention to you and he's a powerful man. You glammed onto him. The other side's going to say, yeah, he's powerful. And the words that I wrote are equally as powerful, and they resonate because people may infer that we're talking about a major powerful guy. That's it works both ways.
All right, an ex-TMZ employee, Mark, testified that Amber Heard staged a photo op of herself leaving a courthouse with a bruise on her face. How will testimony like this impact a jury?
If they embrace the testimony and they credit it and they believe that that's true, it tends to show that she's lying. And that's not good for her because that's exactly what Johnny Depp must show, that she is lying, that she made up this whole fake scenario about being a victim, and thus everything that she wrote about in that op-ed piece is malarkey.
Like actual malice on that.
You should have defended Amber because I don't think
he's way better.
Yeah, I don't think her attorney, quite frankly, is doing the best job. But I'm not a lawyer. So in your legal opinion, who has made the most compelling argument, Amber Heard or Johnny Depp?
Well, I will answer it this way. They both made one hell of a compelling argument, and that is they likely should probably never get back together, right? I mean, again, hold on. I know it's out of my lane. I'm not a marriage expert, but my wife and I have celebrated 21 years.
Mazel.
And generally, we don't secretly record each other. And secondly, when we do have to defecate, we generally do it outside the marital bed. So,
Two red flags.
They shouldn't be together.
There you go, Mark.
Those are some
pretty ground rules.
Yeah, ground rules for me. Yeah, you can't go past that. All right, here's a real big question I wanted to know. Does it matter who's telling the truth?
Yes. However, the sole issue, we got to bring it back to this article, the Washington Post article. Was she a domestic violence victim? Can she write about her experience? And is that constitutionally protected? The only way Depp wins if he proves that she completely made it up. And at a minimum, it looks like she believes her experience. It doesn't even have to all be accurate. She believes she's a domestic violence victim. And if you go line by line through that Washington Post article, most of it, if not all of it, in my opinion, is constitutionally protected.
That's so interesting. She has to have actually known it was false and still published it. That's where that actual malice
and
comes
she
in.
doesn't even mention him. If you go line by line, which they should do in their closing argument, she talks about being a victim at a very young age. She talks about having problems in college. That has nothing to do with Johnny Depp.
Right,
of course
right.
she's allowed to write about that.
Right.
She talks about how the man gets favored over women. All that's protected.
Right.
So the question is, what is not protected? And I don't think that he proved which specific lines or line should not be given constitutional protection.
Wow, very interesting. Mark,
Good stuff.
Amazing. Thank you
See
for
what
joining
happens.
us on DBL. I'm hiring him anytime
For
something
anything.
happens. For more information.
Hey, 10% off your next felony, all of you.
You got it. I'm taking you up on that.
For sure, and his law firm. Please go to speaktomark.com. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much, Mark. We'll be right back.
Thank you, guys. Love you all.
10% off your next
10%
felony.
off. I'm taking it. That's good money.
If you've got
This most recent horrific shooting is prompting a lot of anger, and many online are calling on Congress to do more. Some claiming that in the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed a single piece of gun control legislation. So is that true? Let's verify. Our sources are Todd Belt, the director of the Political Management Program at the George Washington University, various reports from the Congressional Research Service, and Congress.gov, which tracks past legislation. Let's start with our political expert.
That's absolutely true if we look at congressional legislation. There has been some new laws and regulations that have been sent through executive orders. But when it comes to congressional legislation, nothing has happened since Sandy Hook.
To confirm, we searched through Congress.gov for all bills signed into law over the last decade and found just 30 which had the words gun or firearm included. But most were just budget bills, and Belt says that none of these bills made significant changes to gun control laws. But that's not to say there haven't been attempts to pass laws. For example, in 2013, shortly after Sandy Hook, the Manchin-Toomey Amendment would have bolstered background checks, but it failed to get the 60 votes needed. These failed attempts are why presidents have used executive actions instead. For example, according to CRS, in April 2021, President Biden announced 6 executive actions relating to gun control, including one to try and crack down on ghost guns.
In the absence of congressional leadership on this issue, presidents have been taking the ball themselves and running with it.
So we could verify that this claim is true. In the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed any significant gun control legislation. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Our viewers know we're always trying to protect them from scams, but we're no experts. So we brought in a scam-busting duo to talk about their experiences, including ones near death. Check out our interview with Ashton Bingham and Art Kulik of Trilogy Media.
What's up, guys? Hey. What's up? Now, we got to get right into it because it's so easy to think that, like, I wouldn't fall for a scam when you hear about it. But to what great lengths have you seen scammers go to?
Well, first of all, thank you so much for having us. Absolutely an honor.
Appreciate you guys. No, I was just saying that feelings mutual.
It's amazing. Yes, nice to meet you. Honestly, every single time when people say, like, no, there is no way you can fail for this, I'm going to tell you, you know, from our personal experience, and our experience is pushing a decade to be in this business, scammers, especially when it comes to elderly people, they're trying to do whatever it takes to smooth you, to like season you, you know, like they're trying to be very personal. They manipulate you. If you're a grandmother or grandfather, they're gonna start calling you, hey grandma, how you doing? How's your day? So, and they will stick for 2, 3, 4, 5 years until they're gonna drain your bank account. They will get your information, your social security with a big smile on your face. So it's all about manipulation.
Yeah, I can't stand thieves, scammers, all of that. So take us through take us through your process for busting a scam, because that's got to be so gratifying.
You would want to do that.
Oh, I would love it. I would love it. I'd be like pointing in your face. Like, yeah. What's the first step that you take?
The ending definitely is gratifying, but we have to get there first, and sometimes it takes a long time. It really starts with us pretending to be victims, right? So scams are always changing. The tactics they use, the manipulation ways that they use to get to their end goal will be different almost every single time, but we pretend to be a victim. So if we get a tip or we have a scam phone number or something, we call and we just kind of pretend to be gullible. We pretend to be their target demographic. And in a lot of cases, they want the victim to send money in cash in a package, like through the mail. So, and we love those because then we can go send a fake package, show up at the door and confront whoever it is that's receiving it and be like, hey, what the heck? You know, why are you receiving this money? So we just have to, it's an improv exercise for sure, but we take it to the end and expose it to the world, and hopefully someone will learn something from it.
Not only are you proficient at busting scammers, but also your patience is like through the roof. Right. I can't get through the first 3 seconds of a phone call. So you guys just returned from India, where you took on your biggest scam bust yet. So what kind of danger were you in?
Well, let me tell you this. We planned for 12 months. Wow. We we have our own undercover agents. We put them in these call centers, and we flew over there, right, to, you know, bring some glitter bombs, you know, do some tricks. And there is one problem. When we show up in beautiful city of Calcutta, which is the capital of cybersecurity crime, it took us only 1 day before we got spotted. So scammers, they talk to each other on these groups, right? And they call victims customers. So they saw Trilogy Media in town and they immediately, okay, they probably came with the FBI. They're doing something. There is something going to happen. So
there's 57,000 people in this one particular group.
In one particular group, and they said, you know what? They're probably gonna intercept our business, and the maybe easiest way to do it, let's shoot them. You see them, shoot them. So they start looking for our location, calling hotels, and we got so close to literally call American embassy and try to escort us, American citizens, to international airports so we can fly home immediately. But thank God we did not get killed. We put so much pressure that right now one call center that been operating for 19 years got shut down and 15 people got prosecuted and right now going through trial.
That's incredible.
A lot of millions of dollars.
Wow. And you're risking your lives for it. Like, unbelievable. Like, I wish we could have you guys on all the time. I know Jeff is like harping to be one of your undercover agents.
Yeah, we'll hang out. We'll hang out.
Okay,
we will.
Yep, Ashton and Art, we appreciate you guys. DBL Nation, you gotta follow Trilogy Media on YouTube for more scam busting content. Thanks, guys. We'll be right back.
Thanks. Thank you so much for having us. Thank you so much.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
the National Rifle Association is holding their annual meeting in Houston, Texas, from May 27th through May 29th. Former President Donald Trump is speaking at the event. On Twitter, people are saying that guns are banned at the meeting in order to protect Trump and other speakers. So let's verify. Are guns banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting? We went to these sources for an answer. According to the NRA, quote, personal firearms may be carried in the George R. Brown Convention Center in accordance with Texas law, unquote. Texas law allows anyone over 21 to own a firearm. And as of September 1st, 2021, anyone who qualifies under the law can carry a handgun in a public place in Texas without a license to carry. But there is one time and place at the NRA event where guns aren't allowed, and that's in the General Assembly Hall at the Convention Center during former President Donald Trump's scheduled address on Friday, May 27th. According to a notice from the Secret Service published on the NRA's website, guns are prohibited from the hall during Trump's speech. While Trump is at the venue, the Secret Service has jurisdiction over that location, and they've prohibited several items, including guns and ammunition. So we can verify, no, guns are not banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting in Houston. But attendees can't carry one in an area of the venue while former President Donald Trump is speaking. With your Fast Fact, I'm Ariante Till.
Over the past month, I've gotten text messages addressed to Uncle Mike, inviting Jessica to a musical and offering condolences for my parents' passing. But none of them are real. And as that banner shows with my name, they weren't addressed to the right person. It turns out I'm not the only one getting these fishy texts. Several Verify viewers also sent us similar messages and are wondering if it's a scam. So let's verify. Are scammers posing as people who are texting the wrong number? Our sources are the Better Business Bureau the Federal Communications Commission, and the Office of New York's Attorney General. All of our sources say, while it could be an innocent mistake, these texts are more likely a new take on an old scam. One method is a version of a romance scam. The BBB warns it starts with someone trying to follow up on a date or a dating app match. Once the victim responds, the scammer tries to get them to provide their credit card information to join an adult dating website. The other method is to pose as a professional or to follow up on an in-person meeting, like a vet with information about a pet or an invitation to a musical. Once you respond saying you have the wrong number, the Office of New York's Attorney General says it tells the scammer they've reached an active number. This, in turn, leads to more unwanted messages trying to trick you into giving out your personal information. So, yes, scammers are posing as people who are texting the wrong number. The FCC tells Verify the safest thing you can do is simply not respond to unexpected messages, even though some of them may pluck at your heartstrings. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. Accidents do happen at home. I know, I'm pretty clumsy, but many of them are preventable. It's time for some DBL home tips presented by American Home Shield. So safety risks in your home can be easy to overlook, but if you're living with a young or elderly person, these are especially important. First, scald burns have injured thousands of people in the past couple years. Make sure your heater and your water temperature heater is set no higher than 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, falling down. That accounts for more than 8 million emergency visits each year. Make sure you address that carpet and any rug peeling you have, and always utilize non-slip pads. Lastly, unstable furniture injuries. Make sure that TV is mounted securely and any unstable furniture is replaced, especially chairs. And remember, an American Home Shield home warranty plan helps cover many things that homeowners insurance leaves out, like breakdowns of major components of home systems and appliances. So you can rest easy knowing you're ready for whatever breakdowns inevitably strike next. Visit ahs.com to find a plan that's right for you. Was I supposed to say scalp burns?
No, scalding.
It said scald burns.
You're like, check out the scalding water over here.
Scalding? I said it was scald, not scald. I'm not good
You
with
know
that
what
word.
happens every week, Colin's like, I'm going to teach you how to walk because you literally fall down over nothing. Like I trip over like air once a week. It's like the most ridiculous thing. So
I wish
this is true.
I wish we could find something for like stubbing your toe at home.
Oh my God. How about when your bag gets caught on the door handle when you're walking?
That's never happened.
Yeah, that doesn't happen to me.
That happens a lot to me.
How big is your bag? Oh,
pretty
yeah.
big, and that happens almost probably 4 times a
It's
week.
going to be hot this weekend. Watch out for the scalding water.
Scalding water.
You need a crossbody bag.
DBL is new every day. We will see you Monday, same time, same place. Be good to yourselves out there. It's hard out there. We're grateful you joined us today. Bye, guys.
Wow.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back. I've already spent my time, my resources, and all of my sanity on trying to make you happy.
Whew, all right. No, we're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
We're in a fight already.
I'm all in with the knee now.
You are?
Absolutely not. No.
First girlfriend in Hollywood.
Wow.
Yes, baby.
I'm looking at a cutie, okay?
I love what you're doing. I just want to thank you.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.
about today on Daily Blast Live.
Outraged parents question the police response during the Texas school shooting. What were officers doing in the gunman's final 90 minutes? A member of Moms Demand Action will be here live in studio to talk about what her group is doing to stop gun violence. As the jury hears closing arguments in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, criminal defense attorney Mark Eiglarsh will be here live to give his take on which way he thinks the decision will go. And in honor of Top Gun Maverick premiering today, Jeff Schroeder hits the streets to test people on their Top Gun knowledge.
I feel the need for speed.
Speed. Ow! Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. So today we have to talk about, well, what all of you are talking about, because police are facing some tough questions about their response to the mass shooting at a Texas elementary school. There is new footage, and it shows parents angrily confronting police for not going into the school sooner to stop the gunman. Take a look.
They're little kids. They don't know how to defend themselves. 6-year-old kids in there. They don't know how to defend themselves from a shooter.
The timeline of events has also changed according to police. Initially, police said the gunman was confronted by a school resource officer before entering the school. But now they're saying he entered the school, quote unquote, unobstructed. Earlier today, there was another press conference, and Texas Department of Safety officials tried to clear up some of the misinformation, confusion. Here's what they're saying about why it took so long to breach the room and stop the gunman. Take a look.
You know, the on-scene commander considered it a barricaded subject and that there was time and there were no more children at risk. If shooting continues and you have any reason to believe that there's individuals alive in there, you've got an obligation to move back to an active shooter posture, and that means everybody at the door. Of course it was not the right decision. It was the wrong decision, period. There's no excuse for that.
So if you watch the whole press conference, there was a moment where he described that at first active shooter situation, then a barricaded subject situation, and that's where he believed that he made the wrong call. Because if it was active shooter, they would have continued to try to get through that door and rescue as many children as possible. What are you thinking, Erica?
It's hard to think that, you know, anytime a life is taken, that someone made a wrong call. Like, you know, there are mistakes and then there's tragedy, and it's like tragedy on top of tragedy. At the same time, it's like everyone's talking about how the story keeps changing, and it's not that I'm not concerned about the story changing, because we expect to get the proper information, but there were so many different things happening at one time, and it's very clear at this point that this was a department that was completely ill-prepared for any of this, from the top to the bottom, from the start to the finish. So it's not surprising that the information is changing, because this has been...
Listen, I have my own opinion about what happened, but let's first confront why this happened. Let's not give this shooter any sort of pass. He is the reason this happened. The guns that he purchased are the reason this happened. So let's focus on that. I love when something happens, we focus over here. We're going to talk about that, but let's focus why this happened. This PO finished that's why this happened. Okay, now we can talk about some of the police. I know you have a lot of details about it, but I appreciate whoever that was coming forward and telling the truth.
I agree
and saying, listen, we screwed this up. You know what I mean? We made the wrong call. It was a barricade. There was 19 plus police officers there that fled. It's like, if you're not going to go into a burning fire, don't be a firefighter.
You don't take that oath. I'm mad. I'm angry. I get it. Listen, I appreciate many men and women in blue. Are you kidding me? They sacrifice their lives for us every single day. In that situation, if you're not going to go in there, you better let those parents go in there. If there was one police officer that told me I couldn't go in there when I hear screams, when I hear shots being fired, and if you're not going in there, and if you're not going to let me go in there, there was a mother that got in there. She jumped the fence. She wasn't able to go in the classroom, but she did find her 2 children, and she rescued rescued them. So do not prevent me as a parent from getting my kids if you're not going to go in. That's where I stand.
Not only are you correct, there are cameras out there that showed parents doing just that, getting handcuffed. There was pepper spray involved. So let me just say to all of you, this needs an FBI federal investigation from an independent source. Joaquin Castro, who is a Democrat from Texas, has already called for one. Mistakes were made. Big mistakes. Children's lives. But I also agreed, let's keep it on the shooter as well. But there were mistakes made, and I want to see them accounted for.
Yeah, I know. It's just, at this point, it's like, how much more can we say, right? Because you're not going to bring back those 19 lives or the countless other lives that have died over the last 20-something years with gun violence and mass shootings. Coming up on DBL, a member of Moms Demand Action joins us live in the studio to talk about how her group is calling for common sense gun reform.
Closed captioning provided by
This June, DBL is holding nothing back.
We're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
This is what you want, and this is what you're gonna get. If we're gonna be real, let's be real.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yeah.
DBL is all new every day.
The police handled it, you know, like we're talking about the timeline a little bit more in detail, and now the new details are coming out.
Right.
Like the specific details, I should
Correct.
say.
So like 7 people went in originally. They were shot at.
Conversation over here for me, please. Thank you.
They were shot at and fired, and then 19 police officers.
So wait, what happened first?
7.
4 or what was it?
4 went in one way, 3 went in another,
That's
and
right,
they were
7.
shot at. So that's 7.
Right.
They retreated. After that, soon after that, 19 officers, like Jeff said, also went in. But as they were shot at, they realized their commander, and this is so important because their commander said it. This has now turned from an active shooter situation into a barricaded subject situation, and in that case, they have to back off.
Fatal
That
mistake.
was the mistake.
Yeah,
and
that
he
was the
said, what you said is, he admitted 100%. Of course, that was the wrong decision to make.
But when you're hearing the gunshots and you make that call, right? That's okay. Mistakes happen. I understand that. And you know, we could say, you know, Monday morning quarterback this whole thing and say, this is what they should have done. When you're there and there's an active shooter, it's fight or flight, right? Police should.
They should be trained.
They should be trained to have that. But once you make that call, and you hear, yeah, they just got through training. And once you hear those gunshots,
it changes.
It's no longer that anymore. It's an active shooter.
Right.
You go right back in.
Correct.
You don't wait an hour.
But if your
So who made
commander,
that call?
if the commander has said this is not an active shooter, and you hear gunshots, who do you go to? Yourself, or do you go to?
I'm not a police officer, and that means that situation is no longer true. It's an active shooter.
But you have a rank. You have a rank.
But what
You
is
got to
wrong
follow
with
the
the person
commander. Then you're mutant. You know, you're mutinizing. That's not. I don't think that's the right word. I think it's close. I think it's really close.
We're gonna end this.
Okay.
Welcome back. Just days after the school shooting in Texas, the National Rifle Association is kicking off a huge convention in Houston today, with 50,000 people planning on attending. Well, protests are expected. Speaking of which, at schools all across the country yesterday, our youth, yeah, the students, they staged walkouts protesting the lack of action from the adults to keep them safe from gun violence. But there is some good news. A bipartisan group of senators met yesterday to discuss possible gun safety legislation. Please. So for more on this, we are joined by Jessica Price. She is a mom of 3 and a high school teacher. She's also a local leader of a national group, Moms Demand Action, calling for common sense gun reform. Welcome, Jessica.
All right, Jessica, you are a high school teacher. You're also a mom, and I just want to know. Okay, they say my mic. All right, we're not on mute anymore. You're a high school teacher and a mom. I wanted to ask you how you're personally feeling just during all this. Like, how are you doing?
This has been a really, really hard week. Wrapping up school myself with my own students and seeing them get ready to graduate and seeing them be excited, but then having this kind of loom over again.
Yeah, right.
I'm working with the generation that they call themselves the lockdown generation. And so it's been hard. It's been really hard. And then I have 3 children. My daughter just turned 11 today.
Oh, happy birthday.
And I have 2 teenage boys. And yesterday, my husband and I were sitting watching my daughter in her 5th grade continuation. And as much as I was trying so hard just to focus on her and be there for her and be celebratory for her, I couldn't help but think about the parents who aren't able to do that. That earlier this week, that was their plan, and their plan changed. And I noticed that in the front row of where all the kids were sitting in the auditorium, there were 19 kids.
Wow.
And as I sat there and I counted the 19 kids, it was absolutely horrific. And I think every parent in that auditorium was thinking the same thing that I was thinking. Like, at any moment, that I could be any other parent that's just, in deep, deep grief for the rest of your life, really.
Yeah. Jessica, tell us about Moms Demand Action and how you got involved.
So Moms Demand Action is a national organization. It was founded by Shannon Watts right after.
Yes. I'm a huge fan of Shannon Watts.
I think she's all of our shero. She founded it right after the Sandy Hook shooting. She was a mom just like me and just was like, this is crazy. Something has got to happen. And I think that she really went into it thinking something's going to happen now. Here we are, we're talking about these children who were murdered in their classroom. And so she started Moms Demand Action. And as we know, the shootings have still continued. And so I didn't know a whole lot about her or about moms until after Parkland. And because I'm a high school teacher, right after Parkland, I saw all these young people, students, that I have the same age, were out marching and out protesting and talking to legislators within hours of this traumatic event. And I thought, this is crazy. If they can be out doing this, then I need to be doing something. And I teach high school government, and so I encourage my kids to get engaged, and I thought, this is it. This is my chance. And so my sister and I found Moms Demand Action. There wasn't a local group in our city, so we said, well, all right, we'll start one. And it has been an absolute whirlwind since. I did not anticipate it taking over my life the way that it has, but it has been at least fulfilling to feel like I'm part of the solution and that we're trying and that we're doing things. And I know that there's been some small successes, but we have to remind ourselves this is a marathon, not a sprint. And in weeks like this, it's hard.
Jessica, let me first commend you on your activism and being an educator. I have a 5 and a 3-year-old, so thank you. Hopefully we do something in the future it's in grammar schools too, so nobody's safe.
Right.
I always talk about this being a political Democrat or Republican. How about a sensible party? A sensible party. Let's put some ideas on the table instead of just throwing them away and sticking to your political party. What are you guys coming up with? What ideas do you guys have for gun reform?
Well, going back to the political parties, this is a nonpartisan issue.
Exactly.
Saving the lives of children should not be about Democrats and Republicans. It makes no sense. Our organization is a nonpartisan organization. We have people in our group that are Republicans, Democrats, gun owners. We have people from all over. And this is a nonpartisan issue that we have got to stop making a partisan issue. When the vast majority of Americans agree on things like universal background checks, it's ridiculous that this is a partisan issue. We would like to see universal background checks. We know that there are some states that do have a pretty robust background check system. I'm from Colorado. We have a great background check system in Colorado. But we're only as safe as the state next door. And so when it's not federal, that makes it really, really tricky. We would like to see red flag laws. People should have an option when we know that there is something going on where somebody might be a threat to themselves or to others. We need options. Family members need options. The police need options. And we know, we have all the evidence and data in the world that proves that red flag laws do work. There's not going to be one solution that solves gun violence and ends mass shootings. But when we start implementing some of these laws, we do know that there is a decrease in gun violence. So red flag laws, universal background checks, age limits on purchasing weapons. We know that, you know, this young man was 18 years old. He was a high school student. There is no reason in the world why he should have had an assault style weapon.
Yeah, and that age,
two of them.
And the age limit was just dropped last year to 18.
Right, and you have to be 25 to rent a car, so that should really explain everything. I have to ask you, because you're on the ground floor, and thank you. You found your chapter after Parkland. And very little policy changes happened after Parkland, unfortunately, because these 19 kids would still be alive today if there were federal policy changes. I know a lot of parents are thinking this, and I don't want to lose hope, but do you really feel that we're going to be able to enact these common sense gun laws?
I have to have hope. If you don't have hope and you're part of this movement, then you're not going to be in this movement for very long. Like I said, we have to remind ourselves that this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. It is hard. There are days where we have to take a little bit of a break, and we have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. This movement is incredibly difficult. My sister and I have had many, many moments where we've had to take a little bit of a step back and remind ourselves that we got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of our own children. I do still have hope. I have to have hope. It's hard to have hope when what it's going to take is a change in people's moral compass and a change in so many policies around the gun lobby and around how campaigns are financed and the money that the gun lobby continues to pour into our system. So it's going to take a lot, but somebody has to do the work.
No, we will.
We have to.
And you are doing it.
Yes, thank you.
You walk the walk, and I thank you. We thank you. Jessica, we also want to make sure to all of our viewers out there, if you want to get involved with Moms Demand Action, text READY to 64433. Again, text READY to 64433. You can also visit their website at momsdemandaction.org. Thank you again, Jessica. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Thank you.
If you've got
This most recent horrific shooting is prompting a lot of anger, and many online are calling on Congress to do more.
Some claiming that in the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed a single piece of gun control legislation. So is that true? Let's verify. Our sources are Todd Belt, the director of the Political Management Program at the George Washington University, various reports from the Congressional Research Service, and Congress.gov, which tracks past legislation. Let's start with our political expert.
That's absolutely true if we look at congressional legislation. There has been some new laws and regulations that have been sent through executive orders. But when it comes to congressional legislation, nothing has happened since Sandy Hook.
To confirm, we searched through Congress.gov for all bills signed into law over the last decade and found just 30 which had the words gun or firearm included. But most were just budget bills, and Belt says that none of these bills made significant changes to gun control laws. But that's not to say there haven't been attempts to pass laws. For example, in 2013, shortly after Sandy Hook, the Manchin-Toomey Amendment would have bolstered background checks, but it failed to get the 60 votes needed. These failed attempts are why presidents have used executive actions instead. For example, according to CRS, in April 2021, President Biden announced 6 executive actions relating to gun control, including one to try and crack down on ghost guns.
In the absence of congressional leadership on this issue, presidents have been taking the ball themselves and running with it.
So we could verify that this claim is true. In the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed any significant gun control legislation.
With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back. This week has been really tough, and I know that emotions are running high for a lot of us. It turns out a lot of folks are not sure how to respond emotionally to tragic news like what happened in Texas, but not to worry. That's okay. Experts say there's more than one way to process trauma, and that feelings of sadness, rage, anger, fear, they're all normal. So let's just take a minute, talk about this past week. How are you processing what happened and all the emotions that come with it?
I'll start. You know, I started the week off angry. I was angry, and I didn't mean to be that way when we first started talking about that, but I'm glad to see that my emotions reflect what America's feeling. I feel like this is the final straw. It's tough when you sit up here and talk about these issues because you take it home with you. And this issue, especially, you're taking home. But it's tough because it weighs on you. And then you go home and you see your kids. And it's like, why doesn't everyone just see what I'm seeing? Just some compassion. Like these parents, the ripple effect is just astronomical. And to counter that with hate or these are my rights, I can't just get on a plane and start flying it because I'm an American. You have to go to school. You have to get a license. Why can't we do that with guns? My dad's a hunter. He doesn't mind going to school. He doesn't mind putting his bullets back after he shoots them. I think most hunters would say the same thing. To let an 18-year-old with an unstable past purchase an assault rifle with 375 bullets, what do you think's going to happen? But let's not talk about that because these are my rights. I don't know. I'm confused as well as angry and everything else.
Wow.
Yeah, well said. You said that.
Yeah.
You said it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I really feel like a lot of people have said to me, like, I'm going to leave the country. I'm going to leave the country. And as someone who could actually leave the country because my husband is a dual citizen and we've had those discussions whether we'd live here or live in Canada. And I'm like, I'm not going to just leave because our system is completely messed up. First of all, I'm going to leave all of my friends and family and everybody I care about so that I'm personally safe. Like, that seems a little extreme. But at the same time, I'm also a person who has to make a decision to have a child. Like, I have to physically do something other than, like, I'm not going to have one naturally. Is that something that I want to do? Is that, like, in my mind, I'm thinking, is this God telling me that I shouldn't force something that's not naturally for me?
That's exactly the way I feel. That's exactly the way I feel. The whole kid conversation, and I know some of you out there, you're just like, do I do this? Do I go here? Do I put this out in the world and give that up? But you also are like, well, what else should I do? And I'm just right there with you, Erica. I'm really right there with you, and it's a tough place to be. Really tough. And I think about you with kids. I mean, I think about, how do you feel, Sam?
Well, thank you, both of you, for being so transparent. Because I know a lot of our viewers feel the same way, and thank you. For me, I just want to do more. I'm very inspired by Jessica. I thank Jessica for being here. I hope I can help in some way, shape, or form. I want to be part of the solution. And yeah, I don't want my kids to have to do active shooter drills. I don't want them to, God forbid, lose their life to something we can prevent. And there's already too many lives that have lost. It's too late for too many families.
Yeah.
So I hope this is the straw, Jeff. I hope this is it. I really do. Well, we're going to share your comments after the break because our viewers have a lot to say as well, and we love hearing from you. Stay with us.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The National Rifle Association is holding their annual meeting in Houston, Texas, from May 27th through May 29th. Former President Donald Trump is speaking at the event. On Twitter, people are saying that guns are banned at the meeting in order to protect Trump and other speakers. So let's verify. Are guns banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting? We went to these sources for an answer. According to the NRA, quote, personal firearms may be carried in the George R. Brown Convention Center in accordance with Texas law, unquote. Texas law allows anyone over 21 to own a firearm. And as of September 1st, 2021, anyone who qualifies under the law can carry a handgun in a public place in Texas without a license to carry. But there is one time and place at the NRA event where guns aren't allowed, and that's in the General Assembly Hall at the Convention Center during former President Donald Trump's scheduled address on Friday, May 27th. According to a notice from the Secret Service published on the NRA's website, guns are prohibited from the hall during Trump's speech. While Trump is at the venue, the Secret Service has jurisdiction over that location, and they've prohibited several items, including guns and ammunition. So we can verify, no, guns are not banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting in Houston. But attendees can't carry one in an area of the venue while former President Donald Trump is speaking. With your Fast Fact, I'm Ariante Till.
Over the past month, I've gotten text messages addressed to Uncle Mike, inviting Jessica to a musical and offering condolences for my parents' passing. But none of them are real. And as that banner shows with my name, they weren't addressed to the right person. It turns out I'm not the only one getting these fishy texts. Several Verify viewers also sent us similar messages and are wondering if it's a scam. So let's verify. Are scammers posing as people who are texting the wrong number? Our sources are the Better Business Bureau, the Federal Communications Commission, and the Office of New York's Attorney General. All of our sources say, while it could be an innocent mistake, these texts are more likely a new take on an old scam. One method is a version of a romance scam. The BBB warns it starts with someone trying to follow up on a date or a dating app match. Once the victim responds, the scammer tries to get them to provide their credit card information to join an adult dating website. The other method is to pose as a professional or to follow up on an in-person meeting, like a vet with information about a pet or an invitation to a musical. Once you respond saying you have the wrong number, the Office of New York's Attorney General says it tells the scammer they've reached an active number. This, in turn, leads to more unwanted messages trying to trick you into giving out your personal information. So, yes, scammers are posing as people who are texting the wrong number. The FCC tells Verify the safest thing you can do is simply not respond to unexpected messages, even though some of them may pluck at your heartstrings. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. We love sharing your comments. We have a lot of our viewers just voicing their thoughts, their feelings. Mary Lee says, if law enforcement will not go in against an assault weapon, what more do we have to endure before we remove these weapons?
Amen.
It's a great point. You're bringing a knife into a gunfight.
That's right. They were outgunned.
Right. Kat says gun shop owners should also have some responsibility, to Jeff's point. And if an 18-year-old walks in to buy 2 assault rifles, why would you not ask his intention? There shouldn't even be a conversation. It just should not be allowed.
So this is another question: is do we hold the gun shop responsible, owners responsible, and the gun makers? Can they now be held?
They're not. There's nothing holding them back legally.
Right.
Right. So they're not responsible right now. Government needs to put that into effect.
Yeah. Do your work, Congress. Start legislating, please. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online, but if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Veteran trial attorney, friend of the show, Mark Eiglarsh, joins us live to give us his take on which way he thinks the decision will go in the Johnny Depp-Amber Heard trial. And how well do you remember the original Top Gun movie? Jeff hits the streets, loving his outfit a little, to quiz people on some fun gun trivia.
You see that? He strutted.
Trivia.
As we gear up for Memorial Day weekend, you may be planning for a cookout with the family, maybe a trip to the beach, but inflation might have you second guessing it all. So let's verify. How much have the prices gone up? Our sources are the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, Jonathan Church, an economist for the agency, and AAA. And let's start with my favorite, food. How much could that cookout cost you? Well, according to BLS, food prices are up 9.4% on their consumer price index. That's from April 2021 to April 2022, with an especially big jump for meat, poultry, fish, and eggs, jumping by 14.3% in a year. And according to the Bureau, the average price for a pound of beef as of April was $4.95, up from $4.29 in April of last year.
It really hits home on the kitchen table with grocery store prices.
The good news is that we're not seeing quite as big of an increase for alcohol prices, up just 3.9% in a year, according to that consumer price index. Then there are travel costs. Church says that according to the index, airfare has spiked by, listen to this, 33.3% from April 2021 to April 2022. And you're not getting relief at the pump either. This time last year, on May 24th, 2021, AAA released this press release, lamenting the highest gas prices since 2014. The national average was $3.03 per gallon back then. Now it's $4.60 per gallon,
a record high, according to AAA.
The big picture is pretty much what everybody already knows, is that we're seeing double-digit inflation in categories that really hit people's wallets.
So we can verify that you'll be paying up a lot more this holiday weekend than last year. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Consider, for instance, this line, quote, "Imagine a powerful man is a ship, like the Titanic. The ship, the Titanic, is Mr. Depp. And Ms. Heard was the iceberg that sank him."
Because in Mr. Depp's world, you don't leave Mr. Depp. And if you do, he will start a campaign of global humiliation against you.
Oof. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Erica, and Tori. Attorneys for Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are making their closing arguments today. But despite capturing everyone's attention, there still seems to be some confusion on what this defamation trial is really about. So for a legal perspective, we are joined today by former prosecutor, friend of the show, and veteran trial attorney Mark Eiglar.
Yep.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Very sweet. Thank you.
He's so deadpan.
Mark, let's get to it, because the Twitter sphere is a Twitter about this whole trial. And I think that some people might be spot on. Some people might be getting it wrong. What do you think people are getting the most wrong about this trial?
Okay, I say this with love and respect to the members of the Court of Public Opinion. They don't have a clue of what this case is actually about. It's not a spectator sport. It's not I'm on Team Depp or Team Heard and who do I like more. It's about this. It's about something that people haven't chosen to read. It's a Washington Post op-ed published December 18th, 2018 by Amber Heard, who simply documents her feelings about being a domestic violence victim. She doesn't name Johnny Depp. And so the sole issue is whether what she's writing is constitutionally protected or not. Is it defamatory? And in order for Johnny Depp to prevail, and I don't believe that he will, he's got to show that she completely made everything up. Actual malice. I don't believe she hit that burden.
Wow. We'll see. We'll see. So, Mark, what is a closing argument? Tori's explained it wrongly on the show before.
Many times.
What does it involve and how important are they?
I have not.
Critical, okay? Because Amber Heard's lawyers need to do the following. They need to take this article and blow it up and go line by line and say, okay, what is not constitutionally protected? The fact that she said that I was exposed to abuse at a very young age? No, that's protected. Okay, that I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out? She's allowed to say that. That's protected. I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. We don't want to take away her First Amendment freedoms to say those things, because then they come for our freedoms. So it's about the First Amendment.
However, the part in it in which she said she was an abused person, which is in it, I don't think that Johnny Depp shows, or I don't believe the jury believes that he actually abused her. And if that's the one line that they need to describe, I think she looks like a fake. And I think she looks like that in terms to the jury. You're disagreeing, is that correct?
I'm saying, let's say 99%, and I don't think it's as high, of what flowed from her lips is absolute malarkey, and the jurors think that she's full of it. If there's 1% belief that she believed that she was an abused person and thus has the right to then write about that experience, he doesn't win. That's the issue. It's not who do you like more. It's not about that. The sole issue is, did he meet his burden of proving that she lied, actual malice, when she talked about her experience as an abused person? And listen, the audio tapes alone suggest, at least verbally, she went through hell. That's enough.
Right. Now, but Mark, okay, so if you can show malice, like for instance, an ex-TMZ employee testified that Amber Heard staged a photo op of herself leaving a courthouse with a bruise on her face. How will testimony like this impact a jury? Will they see malice if they truly believe that that was staged?
Well, if they believe that she made that up and or lied throughout her testimony, yes, it makes it more apt for them to believe that she then somehow wrote this op-ed piece intentionally trying to harm him and was not a victim at all. It's still hard to believe it, though. Would any of you, and I say this rhetorically, invest any of your hard-earned dollars that Johnny Depp never did anything to her, verbally or physically, that could have led her to reasonably believe that she was a victim and thus write from that experience? All of you would say, no, I'm not investing any of my money. There was craziness going on with both of them, and thus she has the right to write about her experience.
But doesn't that come down to what we think assault is?
Or abuse.
If it's, or abuse is, whether it's verbal, whether I think it's, doesn't it go to each juror's definition of what that is to them?
It can be, but it goes to whether she has the right to say what she wrote and read through it step by step. Jeff, I keep telling you, read the damn article. I can't get you to do it because it doesn't have pictures of famous people and who act like, we do when they go to the grocery store. Read it.
You only read picture books.
And go through it.
I would argue with him if I had a point. I don't.
He's valid.
You got me.
But I don't read picture books, Mark. Okay, so here's the thing, because obviously circling back to the initial question, it seems as though you're leaning towards Amber's side or completely on Amber's side. But also, this is a jury, right? So it might be like people on Twitter. So in your legal opinion, who made the most compelling argument, Amber or Johnny?
Okay, here's how I answer that question. They both made an unbelievably compelling argument that they should never get back together. That's it.
Like ever.
Now, again, that's out of the legal realm. I'm not a marital expert, but I have never chosen to defecate in the marital bed. I've never recorded my wife, and I don't think she has either, okay?
We didn't even need to know that, Mark.
Yeah, we did. I think they both failed to prove their lawsuits. Their lawsuits needed to prove certain elements legally, and they failed to do so. Now, jurors are, listen, they're not the brightest sometimes. I had one jury come back and ask, what dose, D-O-S-E, that's how they spell does, unanimous mean? They couldn't spell unanimous. They didn't know what it meant right after the jurors were informed of what it was. So I have no faith in jurors most of the time. But in this case, I believe, will find that Johnny Depp didn't prove that what she was doing was completely lying. She would have mentioned him in the article if that was her intention.
You think so? I don't know. You said you had no faith in juries, and I'm really feeling like it's going to look like Twitter. And it's just a matter of like which Twitter, because there's different neighborhoods. And everybody got together for the same block party.
Yeah, I hope it's not like that. I hope that the defense lawyers for Heard go through and say, folks, even if you don't like our client, even if you think at times what she said wasn't supported by the evidence, the only issue is about the First Amendment. If you say that what she wrote was unlawful, well, it's all about what you're being able to write. It's your experience. It's what you believe.
But it took down Johnny Depp, no?
Yeah,
it took
what about the court of public opinion?
Right.
I know that you're not, in there. It's a fictional place, but in reality, it impacts people's careers. It impacts people's perception. So the court of public opinion are on Johnny Depp's side, no matter what happens in this trial. We can't prevent that.
Listen, I don't disagree with you that article further adversely impacted his career. That's of no consequence to me because legally, if what she wrote is constitutionally protected, and I've said it now about 4 times, then I don't care the result. She is allowed to do that. Dare somehow we say that what she wrote in that article, which you guys still have not read, is unlawful. Then when you want to write about your experience, then you're not able to.
Not when it's made up,
I was
opinion.
still thinking on how to spell unanimous.
I'm staring at Mark Igar's lighting. He's got a great season 2 Housewives lighting.
He does.
He's got
is
it
that
done.
really what this has become? Is that what we're focusing on? Okay.
Hey, you started it.
Who did start it?
Mark, it seems like it doesn't even matter who's telling the truth, but in your opinion, what do you think the verdict's going to be?
I believe that both of them will not prevail with their lawsuits. I think that jurors will follow the law, hopefully. And I didn't mean all jurors cannot be relied upon, Erica. I believe that for the most part, however, they do follow the law. And in this case, they're going to say, Johnny, you didn't prove to us that this was all manufactured, that she was never, ever a victim of any domestic violence, and thus she absolutely made this whole article up. He failed to prove that. And she, of course, did not prove her countersuit.
I don't know. So nobody getting anything is what you're saying.
That is correct. But the lawyers make money. They won't make anything.
Doesn't Johnny win? Even if he loses, doesn't he win? I think he's got.
You think he'll get his career back?
He's got the court of public opinion on his side after what went down.
They're cheering for him at the end of each day. They're screaming for him. Am I right? Like, it's gone that way.
Good follow.
That's your expertise. That's not my expertise. For me, I found a lot of the stuff that I learned about him, one of my favorite actors of all time, very disturbing.
Yeah,
and it's going
that's
to be
fair.
difficult for me to look at him that way. If Hollywood wants to give him his jobs back, good for him.
No, well said, Mark. Thank you for bringing it home, because at the end of the day, this is on both sides. This is a very disturbing, chaotic, unhealthy situation. So we appreciate you. And Mark, we hope that you come here live in studio one of these days. I feel like you fit right in. So hopefully we can arrange that.
I would like that, but I would be there to tell Jeff that the Washington Post is not for the bottom of his bird cage. You know, that would be a problem.
What's up, Mark?
Mark, first of all, you're not coming for my boy, okay? All right.
Was I hanging around your wife recently or something? What happened?
Maybe it was that pseudo Maverick invitation. I don't know.
Listen, Mark, stick around, because we got me as Maverick coming up, buddy. You're going to want to stick around.
Exactly. And to our viewers out there, for more information on Mark and his law firm, you got to go to speaktomark.com. We appreciate you, Mark. Bye.
These guys, love you all. You're great.
You're the best, buddy.
Coming up on DBL, Jeff hits the streets to have
Get a good look, Mark.
With Top Gun trivia. How well did people know the movie?
Closed captioning provided by.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back.
We're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
This is what you want, and this is what you're going to get. If we're going to be real, let's be real.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.
Like you, huh? He's been here.
There's no ill will.
Yeah,
Jeff,
I think he has.
You feel no ill will.
No, man, that's how buddies. He does it because he knows that we can joke around. Like that. You know what I mean? So Mark's the best. I give it back to him, but I'm on camera. Don't worry. Behind the camera, I'm going to give him a little phone call.
Yeah.
No, he's great.
Funny,
he's
he
the best.
works it.
I like when people are more personable like that.
Yeah,
as opposed
it's a real
to,
person.
Hey, Mark, who do you think won?
And you know what else? Who likes that? Juries. And I don't think that Amber Heard's attorney especially has been very good to the juror. They're like this.
I don't think she's going to win.
I don't either.
Mark's the professional.
To y'all's point,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, no matter who wins, the court of public opinion in this day and age is way more powerful than the facts. Nobody read the article. No one cares about the article. Mark's right when it comes to the court of law. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what side you want to win, the court of public opinion is more powerful for Johnny Depp.
Can you spell unanimously?
Unanimously. Yeah, you always should do this in a spelling bee. Unanimous. Okay, after Tori, I get to go.
No, I have the answer, so y'all go.
Why didn't you try first?
Oh, I won't look.
You already cheated.
No, I spelled it the way I thought, so I have no idea if I'm right. I swear to you.
You just said, all right.
I looked
well,
and I spelled it.
try?
Go ahead.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Unanimously. UNANIMOUSLY. Unanimously.
Did she do it?
Yeah, that's
she
right.
Did it!
That was pretty good.
That was so good. Do you know what word I got on my?
Reading out of the dictionary.
You know what word I got wrong on my 4th grade spelling test? Environment with that N.
Oh, that N.
That killed me. That N.
Well, the R too. You mean the R for
Colonel.
Environ.
Ron.
Yeah, that's.
Environ.
I didn't think about Ron. Why are you there?
I thought it was over. Today's the day.
Environment. Government. What are you doing there, N?
Tori, we're doing.
countdown is over. Today is the day that Top Gun Maverick drops in theaters, and earlier this week, I hit the streets of Denver to play a little Top Gun trivia to see how well people knew the original.
And to show off your look.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you up against the best. Yes, sir. You two characters are going to Top Gun.
I feel the need for speed.
Here's the first trivia question. Who's your favorite person on Daily Blast Live?
That would be this gentleman standing right here.
There you go. You won yourself the gift card. We haven't even started yet.
I love it.
What is the song that Goose plays on the piano in the bar?
Goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire.
Wow. Here, we're going to keep going. I'm just going to give you this free gift card.
I don't know the title, but he says Great Balls of Fire.
That's the title, buddy.
Is that it? Hey, okay.
What does Maverick say to Goose in the bar to let him know it's time to sing to someone?
Sing for me.
She's lost that love and feeling.
She's lost that love and feeling?
That's right. She lost that love and feeling. You never close your eyes
anymore.
There you go. What's the first lyric from the iconic Danger Zone song by Kenny Loggins?
No idea.
Nope.
Revving up your engines.
You got it right. Revving up your engine. I don't even know the next line. Revving up your engines.
To go real fast. I don't know.
Who is the actress who plays Goose's wife in Top Gun?
He never knows the real name. He only knows the movie character name.
I'll take the movie character name. Do you know that one?
I need to know that one. Oh, Meg Ryan with a southern accent.
That's why I gave him the gift card already. Finish this sentence. I feel the need for speed.
Speed.
Speed. Ow, ow, ow.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain.
What would your nickname be if you were a fighter pilot?
Ooh, Speedy Dolphin.
By land or sea?
Right, I chose.
What branch of the military is Top Gun about? The Navy, Army, or Air Force?
Ooh, Air Force.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Is it Navy?
Yeah.
No, it is. Navy pilot. Right, because it's right on Pete Mitchell, Navy. Right. Canadians, right? Navy. Yeah.
Navy veteran right here.
You know how many people got that wrong, including me today?
That's unfortunate.
It is the Navy, Naval Force.
Listen, my man.
Hey,
Good way to close this out.
Let's go. Hell yeah. Appreciate y'all. I'm so excited to be here. Go see Top Gun Maverick. It seems like a great movie, y'all. Can't wait to see it.
You just did my job. That's a wrap. See you guys.
That guy need a job?
Yeah, I was like, that's a wrap. He just closed it out for me.
Yeah, he took your outro.
Yeah, it was the best.
He did a good job.
That was so fun. Listen, everyone, Gabe back there, you cut that. Everyone on the street, there you are, buddy. Everyone who went out with me, I love that stuff.
That's how many
so fun.
passes did you have? Did you give out?
I don't like a dozen, something like that.
Any left?
And he left? No, but that man, listen, you know how great that guy was? Not only is he good at the outro, he's a very honest man because he worked for AMC and he goes, I can't accept this, and he gave it back.
No, wow,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
a Top Gun Maverick. I do have to say, I thought it was also Air Force.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, I knew it was Navy.
Okay.
Did you wear that
like
jacket
how
later?
She pointed to me and go, "Did you?" And then just pointed to Sam. Like, I know she didn't know.
You know you're getting plenty of action in that jacket.
Yeah, I wore it to bed. It was a rental.
Oh, you're right. Oh, great. I hope you dry cleaned it.
Need for speed.
Suffer from pain?
This most recent horrific shooting is prompting a lot of anger, and many online are calling on Congress to do more. Some claiming that in the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed a single piece of gun control legislation. So is that true? Let's verify. Our sources are Todd Belt, the director of the Political Management Program at the George Washington University, various reports from the Congressional Research Service, and Congress.gov, which tracks past legislation. Let's start with our political expert.
That's absolutely true if we look at congressional legislation. There has been some new laws and regulations that have been sent through executive orders. But when it comes to congressional legislation, Nothing has happened since Sandy Hook.
To confirm, we searched through Congress.gov for all bills signed into law over the last decade and found just 30 which had the words gun or firearm included. But most were just budget bills, and Belt says that none of these bills made significant changes to gun control laws. But that's not to say there haven't been attempts to pass laws. For example, in 2013, shortly after Sandy Hook, the Manchin-Toomey Amendment would have bolstered background checks, but it failed to get the 60 votes needed. These failed attempts are why presidents have used executive actions instead. For example, according to CRS, in April 2021, President Biden announced 6 executive actions relating to gun control, including one to try and crack down on ghost guns.
In the absence of congressional leadership on this issue, presidents have been taking the ball themselves and running with it.
So we could verify that this claim is true. In the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed any significant gun control legislation. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back. Accidents at home happen, but many of them are preventable. It's time for some DBL home tips presented by American Home Shield. Safety risks in your home can be easy to overlook, but if you're living with a young or elderly person, these are especially important. First, scald burns have injured thousands of people in the past couple of years. Make sure your water heater temperature is set no higher than 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, falls account for more than 8 million emergency visits each year. So make sure to address carpet, rug peeling, and always utilize non-slip pads. Lastly, make sure your TV is mounted securely and any unstable furniture is replaced, especially chairs. And remember, an American Home Shield home warranty plan helps cover many things homeowners insurance leaves out, like breakdowns of major components of home systems and appliances, so you can rest easy knowing you're ready for whatever breakdowns inevitably strike next. Visit ahs.com to find a plan that's right for you. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The National Rifle Association is holding their annual meeting in Houston, Texas, from May 27th through May 29th. Former President Donald Trump is speaking at the event. On Twitter, people are saying that guns are banned at the meeting in order to protect Trump and other speakers. So let's verify. Are guns banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting? We went to these sources for an answer. According to the NRA, quote, personal firearms may be carried in the George R. Brown Convention Center in accordance with Texas law, unquote. Texas law allows anyone over 21 to own a firearm. And as of September 1st, 2021, anyone who qualifies under the law can carry a handgun in a public place in Texas without a license to carry. But there is one time and place at the NRA event where guns aren't allowed, and that's in the General Assembly Hall at the Convention Center during former President Donald Trump's scheduled address on Friday, May 27th. According to a notice from the Secret Service published on the NRA's website, guns are prohibited from the hall during Trump's speech. While Trump is at the venue, the Secret Service has jurisdiction over that location, and they've prohibited several items, including guns and ammunition. So we can verify, no, guns are not banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting in Houston. But attendees can't carry one in an area of the venue while former President Donald Trump is speaking. With your Fast Fact, I'm Ariante Till.
Over the past month, I've gotten text messages addressed to Uncle Mike, inviting Jessica to a musical and offering condolences for my parents' passing. But none of them are real. And as that banner shows with my name, they weren't addressed to the right person. It turns out I'm not the only one getting these fishy texts. Several Verify viewers also sent us similar messages and are wondering if it's a scam. So let's verify. Are scammers posing as people who are texting the wrong number? Our sources are the Better Business Bureau, the Federal Communications Commission, and the Office of New York's Attorney General. All of our sources say, while it could be an innocent mistake, these texts are more likely a new take on an old scam. One method is a version of a romance scam. The BBB warns it starts with someone trying to follow up on a date or a dating app match. Once the victim responds, the scammer tries to get them to provide their credit card information to join an adult dating website. The other method is to pose as a professional or to follow up on an in-person meeting, like a vet with information about a pet or an invitation to a musical. Once you respond saying you have the wrong number, the Office of New York's Attorney General says it tells the scammer they've reached an active number. This, in turn, leads to more unwanted messages trying to trick you into giving out your personal information. So, yes, scammers are posing as people who are texting the wrong number. The FCC tells Verify the safest thing you can do is simply not respond to unexpected messages, even though some of them may pluck at your heartstrings. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
One more story before we go. Ellen DeGeneres signed off for the last time yesterday. The comedian and television host was greeted with a 2-minute
Getting choked up, Sam?
Yeah. So, with a 2-minute standing ovation from her audience before giving her final opening monologue. Her first guest on her show way back in 2003 was Jennifer Aniston, and she was also her last. Ellen asked Aniston how she dealt with the end of her hit TV show, Friends. Take a look.
How did you deal with that?
Well, the ending of Friends. Well, I got a divorce and went into therapy. And then I did a movie called The Breakup. I just kind of leaned into the end.
When she was on Friends. We're just commenting on how gorgeous Jennifer Aniston is. She doesn't age. She ages backwards. Ellen closed the show with some words of compassion. Take a listen to what she said.
By opening your heart and your mind, you're going to be that much more compassionate. And compassion is what makes the world a better place. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I feel the love, and I send it back to you. Bye.
Wow. And when she was done, Ellen walked across the stage, took a seat on a couch in front of a TV. Do you guys remember that?
This was her opening.
Yes, mirroring how she began her talk show 19 years ago. I remember that. Unbelievable. Now, you've been on Ellen's show as an audience member.
As an audience, yeah, not a guest.
So
Good
what
to
is
clarify.
This? Is this crazy?
Listen, I know Tori's rolling her eyes over here, but I'm happy for her. She's changed a lot of lives. She's done a lot for the LGBTQ plus community. She's
a pioneer.
Everyone wants to focus on like this little thing that she's had in her past. 19 years of doing good and changing people's lives. And I mean, an icon as far as TV, daytime television goes. So I got to give her flowers, Erica. I got to give her flowers, and I'm happy for her.
She's the reason I wanted to stand up.
Because you yanked the end of your show, you use her ending.
No, I don't. I
Be
just say
kind to each other.
I say be good to yourself too. First of all, I'm not saying she's awful. I'm saying there was a bad time and toxic environment in which people got fired and things got fixed. She's the reason I wanted to do stand up. I love Ellen. I think she's done a lovely job, and I'm glad she's going to go have time. She's a great gorilla refugee that she's working on. It's the Diane Fossey. She's picking it up, so she's going to go do her thing. And she really did change the entire narrative. The entire narrative.
And both can be true.
You weren't going that way?
No, but both can be true.
Yeah.
She can be an exceptional pioneer, which she is. She can be an exceptional person, and she could be allegedly someone that contributed to a workplace culture toxicity. We don't know all the details, but today we are going to give her flowers because
That's Erica's word. Tori's not allowed to say it anymore.
I can't too. So congrats to Ellen, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more from her. DBL's new every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Give her the flowers.
You get some flowers, Ellen. No, you give someone you give them their flowers, right?
That's why you're not allowed.
You give them flowers.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back. I've already spent my time, my resources, and all of my sanity on trying to make you happy.
Whew, all right. No, we're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
We're in a fight already.
I'm all in with the knee now.
You are?
Absolutely not. No.
first girlfriend in Hollywood.
What?
Yes, baby.
I'm looking at a cutie, okay?
I love what you're doing. I just want to thank you.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.
About today on Daily Blast Live.
Outraged parents question the police response during the Texas school shooting. What were officers doing in the gunman's final 90 minutes? A member of Moms Demand Action will be here live in studio to talk about what her group is doing to stop gun violence. As the jury hears closing arguments in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, criminal defense attorney Mark Eiglarsh will be here live to give his take on which way he thinks the decision will go. And in honor of Top Gun Maverick premiering today, Jeff Schroeder hits the streets to test people on their Top Gun knowledge.
I feel the need for speed.
Speed.
Ow!
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No. Y'all, just stop.
Finally here, drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. So today we have to talk about, well, what all of you are talking about, because police are facing some tough questions about their response to the mass shooting at a Texas elementary school. There is new footage, and it shows parents angrily confronting police for not going into the school sooner to stop the gunman. Take a look.
They're little kids. They don't know how to defend themselves. 6-year-old kids in there. They don't know how to defend themselves from a shooter.
The timeline of events has also changed according to police. Initially, police said the gunman was confronted by a school resource officer before entering the school. But now they're saying he entered the school, quote unquote, unobstructed. Earlier today, there was another press conference, and Texas Department of Safety officials tried to clear up some of the misinformation, confusion. Here's what they're saying about why it took so long to breach the room and stop the gunman. Take a look.
You know, the on-scene commander considered it a barricaded subject and that there was time and there were no more children at risk. If shooting continues and you have any reason to believe that there's individuals alive in there, you've got an obligation to move back to an active shooter posture, and that means everybody at the door. Of course it was not the right decision. It was a wrong decision, period. There's no excuse for that.
So if you watch the whole press conference, there was a moment where he described that at first active shooter situation, then a barricaded subject situation, and that's where he believed that he made the wrong call. Because if it was active shooter, they would have continued to try to get through that door and rescue as many children as possible. What are you thinking, Erica?
It's hard to think that, you know, anytime a life is taken, that someone made a wrong call. Like, you know, there are mistakes and then there's tragedy, and it's like tragedy on top of tragedy. At the same time, it's like everyone's talking about how the story keeps changing, and it's not that I'm not concerned about the story changing, because we expect to get the proper information, but there were so many different things happening at one time, and it's very clear at this point that this was a department that was completely ill-prepared for any of this, from the top to the bottom, from the start to the finish. So it's not surprising that the information is changing, because this has been...
Listen, I have my own opinion about what happened, but let's first confront why this happened. Let's not give this shooter any sort of pass. He is the reason this happened. The guns that he purchased are the reason this happened. So let's focus on that. I love when something happens, we focus over here. We're going to talk about that, but let's focus why this happened. This PO finished the. That's why this happened. Okay, now we can talk about some of the police. I know you have a lot of details about it, but I appreciate whoever that was coming forward and telling the truth.
I agree
and saying, listen, we screwed this up. You know what I mean? We made the wrong call. It was a barricade. There was 19 plus police officers there that fled. It's like, if you're not going to go into a burning fire, don't be a firefighter.
You don't take that oath. I'm mad. I'm angry. I get it. Listen, I appreciate many men and women in blue. Are you kidding me? They sacrifice their lives for us every single day. In that situation, if you're not going to go in there, you better let those parents go in there. If there was one police officer that told me I couldn't go in there when I hear screams, when I hear shots being fired, and if you're not going in there, and if you're not going to let me go in there, there was a mother that got in there. She jumped the fence. She wasn't able to go in the classroom, but she did find her 2 children, and she rescued them. So do not prevent me as a parent from getting my kids if you're not going to go in. That's where I stand.
Not only are you correct, there are cameras out there that showed parents doing just that, getting handcuffed. There was pepper spray involved. So let me just say to all of you, this needs an FBI federal investigation from an independent source. Joaquin Castro, who is a Democrat from Texas, has already called for one. Mistakes were made. Big mistakes. Children's lives. But I also agreed, let's keep it on the shooter as well. But there were mistakes made, and I want to see them accounted for.
Yeah, I know. It's just, at this point, it's like, how much more can we say, right? Because you're not going to bring back those 19 lives or the countless other lives that have died over the last 20-something years with gun violence and mass shootings. Coming up on DBL, a member of Moms Demand Action joins us live in the studio to talk about how her group is calling for common sense gun reform.
Closed captioning provided by
This June, DBL is holding nothing back.
We're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
This is what you want, and this is what you're going to get.
If we're going to be real, let's be real.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.
The police handled it, you know, like we're talking about the timeline a little bit more in detail, and now the new details are coming out.
Right.
Like the specific details, I should
Correct.
say.
So like 7 people went in originally. They were shot at.
Conversation over here for me, please. Thank you.
They were shot at and fired, and then 19 police officers.
So wait, what happened first?
7.
4 or what was
4
it?
went in one way, 3 went in another,
That's
and
right,
they were
7.
shot at. So that's 7.
Right.
They retreated. After that, soon after that, 19 officers, like Jeff said, also went in. But as they were shot at, they realized their commander, and this is so important because their commander said it, this has now turned from an active shooter situation into a barricaded subject situation, and in that case, they have to back off.
Fatal
That
mistake.
was the mistake.
Yeah,
and
that
he
was the
said, what you said is, he admitted 100%. Of course, that was the wrong decision to make.
But when you're hearing the gunshots and you make that call, right? That's okay. Mistakes happen. I understand that. And you know, we could say, you know, Monday morning quarterback this whole thing and say, this is what they should have done. When you're there and there's an active shooter, it's fight or flight, right? Police should.
They should be trained.
They should be trained to have that. But once you make that call, and you hear, yeah, they just got through training. And once you hear those gunshots,
it changes.
It's no longer that anymore. It's an active shooter.
Right.
You go right back in.
Correct.
You don't wait an hour.
But if your
So who made that call?
if the commander has said this is not an active shooter, and you hear gunshots, who do you go to? Yourself, or do you go to?
I'm not a police officer, and that means that situation is no longer true. It's an active shooter.
But you have a rank. You have a rank.
But what
You
is
got to
wrong
follow
with
the
the person
commander. Then you're mutant. You know, you're mutinizing. That's not, I don't think that's the right word.
Mutinizing?
I think it's close. I think it's really close.
We're gonna end there.
Okay.
Welcome back. Just days after the school shooting in Texas, the National Rifle Association is kicking off A huge convention in Houston today with 50,000 people planning on attending. Well, protests are expected. Speaking of which, at schools all across the country yesterday, our youth, yeah, the students, they staged walkouts protesting the lack of action from the adults to keep them safe from gun violence. But there is some good news. A bipartisan group of senators met yesterday to discuss possible gun safety legislation. Please. So for more on this, we are joined by Jessica Price. She is a mom of 3 and a high school teacher. She's also a local leader of a national group, Moms Demand Action, calling for common sense gun reform. Welcome, Jessica.
Bravo. All right, Jessica, you are a high school teacher. You're
Yes.
also a mom, and I just want to know, okay, they say my mic. All right, we're not on mute anymore. You're a high school teacher and a mom. I wanted to ask you how you're personally feeling just during all this. Like, how are you doing?
This has been a really, really hard week. Wrapping up school myself with my own students and seeing them get ready to graduate and seeing them be excited, but then having this kind of loom over again.
Yeah, right.
I'm working with the generation that they call themselves the lockdown generation. And so it's been hard. It's been really hard. And then I have 3 children. My daughter just turned 11 today.
Oh, happy birthday. Happy birthday.
And I have 2 teenage boys. And yesterday, my husband and I were sitting watching my daughter in her 5th grade continuation. And as much as I was trying so hard just to focus on her and be there for her and be celebratory for her, I couldn't help but think about the parents who aren't able to do that. That earlier this week, that was their plan, and their plan changed. And I noticed that in the front row of where all the kids were sitting in the auditorium, there were 19 kids.
Wow.
And as I sat there and I counted the 19 kids, it was absolutely horrific. And I think every parent in that auditorium was thinking the same thing that I was thinking. Like, at any moment, that I could be any other parent that's just, in deep, deep grief for the rest of your life, really.
Yeah, yeah.
Jessica, tell us about Moms Demand Action and how you got involved.
So Moms Demand Action is a national organization. It was founded by Shannon Watts right after.
Yes. I'm a huge fan of Shannon Watts.
I think she's all of our shero. She founded it right after the Sandy Hook shooting. She was a mom just like me and just was like, this is crazy. Something has got to happen. And I think that she really went into it thinking something's going to happen now. Here we are, we're talking about these children who were murdered in their classroom. And so she started Moms Demand Action. And as we know, the shootings have still continued. And so I didn't know a whole lot about her or about moms until after Parkland. And because I'm a high school teacher, right after Parkland, I saw all these young people, students, that I have the same age, were out marching and out protesting and talking to legislators within hours of this traumatic event. And I thought, this is crazy. If they can be out doing this, then I need to be doing something. And I teach high school government, and so I encourage my kids to get engaged, and I thought, this is it. This is my chance. And so my sister and I found Moms Demand Action. There wasn't a local group in our city, so we said, well, all right, we'll start one. And it has been an absolute whirlwind since. I did not anticipate it taking over my life the way that it has, but it has been at least fulfilling to feel like I'm part of the solution and that we're trying and that we're doing things. And I know that there's been some small successes, but we have to remind ourselves this is a marathon, not a sprint. And in weeks like this, it's hard.
Jessica, let me first commend you on your activism and being an educator. I have a 5 and a 3-year-old, so thank you. Hopefully we do something in the future it's in grammar schools too, so nobody's safe.
Right.
I always talk about this being a political Democrat or Republican. How about a sensible party? A sensible party. Let's put some ideas on the table instead of just throwing them away and sticking to your political party. What are you guys coming up with? What ideas do you guys have for gun reform?
Well, going back to the political parties, this is a nonpartisan issue.
Exactly.
Saving the lives of children should not be about Democrats and Republicans. It makes no sense. Our organization is a nonpartisan organization. We have people in our group that are Republicans, Democrats, gun owners. We have people from all over. And this is a nonpartisan issue that we have got to stop making a partisan issue. When the vast majority of Americans agree on things like universal background checks, it's ridiculous that this is a partisan issue. We would like to see universal background checks. We know that there are some states that do have a pretty robust background check system. I'm from Colorado. We have a great background check system in Colorado, but we're only as safe as the state next door. And so when it's not federal, that makes it really, really tricky. We would like to see red flag laws. People should have an option when we know that there is something going on where somebody might be a threat to themselves or to others. We need options. Family members need options. The police need options. And we know, we have all the evidence and data in the world that proves that red flag laws do work. There's not going to be one solution that solves gun violence and ends mass shootings. But when we start implementing some of these laws, we do know that there is a decrease in gun violence. So red flag laws, universal background checks, age limits on purchasing weapons. We know that this young man was 18 years old. He was a high school student. There is no reason in the world why he should have had an assault-style weapon.
Yeah, and that age
two of them.
And the age limit was just dropped last year to 18.
Right, and you have to be 25 to rent a car, so that should really explain everything. I have to ask you, because you're on the ground floor, and thank you. You found your chapter after Parkland. And very little policy changes happened after Parkland, unfortunately, because these 19 kids would still be alive today if there were federal policy changes. I know a lot of parents are thinking this, and I don't want to lose hope, but do you really feel that we're going to be able to enact these common sense gun laws?
I have to have hope. If you don't have hope and you're part of this movement, then you're not going to be in this movement for very long. Like I said, we have to remind ourselves that this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. It is hard. There are days where we have to take a little bit of a break, and we have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. This movement is incredibly difficult. My sister and I have had many, many moments where we've had to take a little bit of a step back and remind ourselves that we got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of our own children. I do still have hope. I have to have hope. It's hard to have hope when what it's going to take is a change in people's moral compass and a change in so many policies around the gun lobby and around how campaigns are financed and the money that the gun lobby continues to pour into our system. So it's going to take a lot, but somebody has to do the work.
No, we will.
And you are doing it.
Yes, thank you.
You walk the walk, and I thank you. We thank you. Jessica, we also want to make sure to all of our viewers out there, if you want to get involved with Moms Demand Action, text READY to 64433. Again, text READY to 64433. You can also visit their website at momsdemandaction.org. Thank you again, Jessica. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Thank you.
If you've got
This most recent horrific shooting is prompting a lot of anger, and many online are calling on Congress to do more. Some claiming that in the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed a single piece of gun control legislation. So is that true? Let's verify. Our sources are Todd Belt, the director of the Political Management Program at the George Washington University, various reports from the Congressional Research Service, and Congress.gov, which tracks past legislation. Let's start with our political expert.
That's absolutely true if we look at congressional legislation. There has been some new laws and regulations that have been sent through executive orders. But when it comes to congressional legislation, nothing has happened since Sandy Hook.
To confirm, we searched through Congress.gov for all bills signed into law over the last decade and found just 30 which had the words gun or firearm included. But most were just budget bills, and Belt says that none of these bills made significant changes to gun control laws. But that's not to say there haven't been attempts to pass laws. For example, in 2013, shortly after Sandy Hook, the Manchin-Toomey Amendment would have bolstered background checks, but it failed to get the 60 votes needed. These failed attempts are why presidents have used executive actions instead. For example, according to CRS, in April 2021, President Biden announced 6 executive actions relating to gun control, including one to try and crack down on ghost guns.
In the absence of congressional leadership on this issue, presidents have been taking the ball themselves and running with it.
So we could verify that this claim is true. In the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed any significant gun control legislation. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back. This week has been really tough, and I know that emotions are running high for a lot of us. It turns out a lot of folks are not sure how to respond emotionally to tragic news like what happened in Texas, but not to worry. That's okay. Experts say there's more than one way to process trauma, and that feelings of sadness, rage, anger, fear, they're all normal. So let's just take a minute, talk about this past week. How are you processing what happened and all the emotions that come with it?
I'll start. You know, I started the week off angry. I was angry, and I didn't mean to be that way when we first started talking about that, but I'm glad to see that my emotions reflect what America's feeling. I feel like this is the final straw. It's tough when you sit up here and talk about these issues because you take it home with you. And this issue, especially, you're taking home. But it's tough because it weighs on you. And then you go home and you see your kids, and it's like, why doesn't everyone just see what I'm seeing? Just some compassion. Like, these parents, the ripple effect is just astronomical. And to counter that with hate or these are my rights, I can't just get on a plane and start flying it because I'm an American. You have to go to school. You have to get a license. Why can't we do that with guns? My dad's a hunter. He doesn't mind going to school. He doesn't mind putting his bullets back after he shoots them. I think most hunters would say the same thing. To let an 18-year-old with an unstable past purchase an assault rifle with 375 bullets, what do you think's going to happen? But let's not talk about that because these are my rights. I don't know. I'm confused as well as angry and everything else.
Wow.
Yeah,
well said. You said that.
Yeah.
You said it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I really feel like a lot of people have said to me, like, I'm going to leave the country. I'm going to leave the country. And as someone who could actually leave the country because my husband is a dual citizen and we've had those discussions whether we'd live here or live in Canada. And I'm like, I'm not going to just leave because our system is completely messed up. First of all, I'm going to leave all of my friends and family and everybody I care about so that I'm personally safe. Like, that seems a little extreme. But at the same time, I'm also a person who has to make a decision to have a child. Like, I have to physically do something other than, like, I'm not going to have one naturally. Is that something that I want to do? Is that, like, in my mind, I'm thinking, is this God telling me that I shouldn't force something that's not naturally for me?
That's exactly the way I feel. That's exactly the way I feel. The whole kid conversation, and I know some of you out there, you're just like, do I do this? Do I go here? Do I put this out in the world and give that up? But you also are like, well, what else should I do? And I'm just right there with you, Erica. I'm really right there with you, and it's a tough place to be. Really tough. And I think about you with kids. I mean, I think about, how do you feel, Sam?
Well, thank you, both of you, for being so transparent, because I know a lot of our viewers feel the same way, and thank you. For me, I just want to do more. I'm very inspired by Jessica. I thank Jessica for being here. I hope I can help in some way, shape, or form. I want to be part of the solution. And yeah, I don't want my kids to have to do active shooter drills. I don't want them to, God forbid, lose their life to something we can prevent. And there's already too many lives that have lost. It's too late for too many families.
Yeah.
So I hope this is the straw, Jeff. I hope this is it. I really do. Well, we're going to share your comments after the break because our viewers have a lot to say as well, and we love hearing from you. Stay with us.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The National Rifle Association is holding their annual meeting in Houston, Texas, from May 27th through May 29th. Former President Donald Trump is speaking at the event. On Twitter, people are saying that guns are banned at the meeting in order to protect Trump and other speakers. So let's verify. Are guns banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting? We went to these sources for an answer. According to the NRA, quote, personal firearms may be carried in the George R. Brown Convention Center in accordance with Texas law, unquote. Texas law allows anyone over 21 to own a firearm. And as of September 1st, 2021, anyone who qualifies under the law can carry a handgun in a public place in Texas without a license to carry. But there is one time and place at the NRA event where guns aren't allowed, and that's in the General Assembly Hall at the Convention Center during former President Donald Trump's scheduled address on Friday, May 27th. According to a notice from the Secret Service published on the NRA's website, guns are prohibited from the hall during Trump's speech. While Trump is at the venue, the Secret Service has jurisdiction over that location, and they've prohibited several items, including guns and ammunition. So we can verify, no, guns are not banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting in Houston. But attendees can't carry one in an area of the venue while former President Donald Trump is speaking. With your Fast Fact, I'm Ariante Till.
Over the past month, I've gotten text messages addressed to Uncle Mike, inviting Jessica to a musical and offering condolences for my parents' passing. But none of them are real. And as that banner shows with my name, they weren't addressed to the right person. It turns out I'm not the only one getting these fishy texts. Several Verify viewers also sent us similar messages and are wondering if it's a scam. So let's verify. Are scammers posing as people who are texting the wrong number? Our sources are the Better Business Bureau, the Federal Communications Commission, and the Office of New York's Attorney General. All of our sources say, while it could be an innocent mistake, these texts are more likely a new take on an old scam. One method is a version of a romance scam. The BBB warns it starts with someone trying to follow up on a date or a dating app match. Once the victim responds, the scammer tries to get them to provide their credit card information to join an adult dating website. The other method is to pose as a professional or to follow up on an in-person meeting, like a vet with information about a pet or an invitation to a musical. Once you respond saying, "You have the wrong number," the Office of New York's Attorney General says it tells the scammer they've reached an active number. This, in turn, leads to more unwanted messages trying to trick you into giving out your personal information. So, yes, scammers are posing as people who are texting the wrong number. The FCC tells Verify the safest thing you can do is simply not respond to unexpected messages, even though some of them may pluck at your heartstrings. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. We love sharing your comments. We have a lot of our viewers just voicing their thoughts, their feelings. Mary Lee says, if law enforcement will not go in against an assault weapon, what more do we have to endure before we remove these weapons?
Amen.
It's a great point. You're bringing a knife into a gunfight.
That's right. They were outgunned.
Right. Kat says gun shop owners should also have some responsibility, to Jeff's point. And if an 18-year-old walks in to buy 2 assault rifles, why would you not ask his intention? There shouldn't even be a conversation. This just should not be allowed.
So this is another question: is do we hold the gun shop owners responsible and the gun makers? Can they now be held?
They're not. There's nothing holding them back legally.
Right.
Right. So they're not responsible right now. Government needs to put that into effect.
Yeah. Do your work, Congress. Start legislating, please. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online, but if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Veteran trial attorney, friend of the show, Mark Eiglarsh, joins us live to give us his take on which way he thinks the decision will go in the Johnny Depp-Amber Heard trial. And how well do you remember the original Top Gun movie, Jeff Hits the Streets? Loving his outfit a little to quiz people on some fun gun trivia.
You see that? He strutted.
Trivia.
As we gear up for Memorial Day weekend, you may be planning for a cookout with the family, maybe a trip to the beach, but inflation might have you second guessing it all. So let's verify. How much have the prices gone up? Our sources are the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, Jonathan Church, an economist for the agency, and AAA. And let's start with my favorite, food. How much could that cookout cost you? Well, according to BLS, food prices are up 9.4% on their Consumer Price Index. That's from April 2021 to April 2022, with an especially big jump for meat, poultry, fish, and eggs, jumping by 14.3% in a year. And according to the Bureau, the average price for a pound of beef as of April was $4.95, up from $4.29 in April of last year.
It really hits home on the kitchen table with grocery store prices.
The good news is that we're not seeing quite as big of an increase for alcohol prices, up just 3.9% in a year, according to that Consumer Price Index. Then there are travel costs. Church says that according to the index, airfare has spiked by, listen to this, 33.3% from April 2021 to April 2022. And you're not getting relief at the pump either. This time last year, on May 24th, 2021, AAA released this press release, lamenting the highest gas prices since 2014. The national average was $3.03 per gallon back then. Now, it's $4.60 per gallon, a record high, according to AAA.
The big picture is pretty much what everybody already knows, is that we're seeing double-digit inflation in categories that really hit people's wallets.
So we can verify that you'll be paying up a lot more this holiday weekend than last year. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane?
This is a sham.
No. Y'all just stop.
Finally here. Drum roll.
Consider, for instance, this line, quote, "Imagine a powerful man is a ship, like the Titanic. The ship, the Titanic, is Mr. Depp. And Ms. Heard was the iceberg that sank him."
Because in Mr. Depp's world, you don't leave Mr. Depp. And if you do, he will start a campaign of global humiliation against you.
Oof, welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Erica, and Tori. Attorneys for Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are making their closing arguments today. But despite capturing everyone's attention, there still seems to be some confusion on what this defamation trial is really about. So for a legal perspective, we are joined today by former prosecutor, friend of the show, and veteran trial attorney Mark Eiglar.
Yep.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Very sweet. Thank you.
He's so deadpan.
Mark, let's get to it, because the Twitter sphere is a Twitter about this whole trial. And I think that some people might be spot on. Some people might be getting it wrong. What do you think people are getting the most wrong about this trial?
Okay, I say this with love and respect to the members of the Court of Public Opinion. They don't have a clue of what this case is actually about. It's not a spectator sport. It's not I'm on Team Depp or Team Heard and who do I like more. It's about this. It's about something that people haven't chosen to read. It's a Washington Post op-ed published December 18th, 2018 by Amber Heard, who simply documents her feelings about being a domestic violence victim. She doesn't name Johnny Depp. And so the sole issue is whether what she's writing is constitutionally protected or not. Is it defamatory? And in order for Johnny Depp to prevail, and I don't believe that he will, he's got to show that she completely made everything up, actual malice. I don't believe she hit that burden.
Wow. We'll see. We'll see. So, Mark, what is a closing argument? Tori's explained it wrongly on the show before.
Many times.
What does it involve and how important are they?
I have not.
Critical, okay? Because Amber Heard's lawyers need to do the following. They need to take this article and blow it up and go line by line and say, okay, what is not constitutionally protected? The fact that she said that I was exposed to abuse at a very young age? No, that's protected. Okay, that I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out? She's allowed to say that. That's protected. I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. We don't want to take away her First Amendment freedoms to say those things, because then they come for our freedoms. So it's about the First Amendment.
However, the part in it in which she says she was an abused person, which is in it, I don't think that Johnny Depp shows, or I don't believe the jury believes that he actually abused her. And if that's the one line that they need to describe, I think she looks like a fake. And I think she looks like that in terms to the jury. You're disagreeing, is that correct?
I'm saying, let's say 99%, and I don't think it's as high, of what flowed from her lips is absolute malarkey, and the jurors think that she's full of it. If there's 1% belief that she believed that she was an abused person and thus has the right to then write about that experience, he doesn't win. That's the issue. It's not who do you like more. It's not about that. The sole issue is, did he meet his burden of proving that she lied, actual malice, when she talked about her experience as an abused person? And listen, the audio tapes alone suggest, at least verbally, she went through hell. That's enough.
Right. Now, but Mark, okay, so if you can show malice, like for instance, an ex-TMZ employee testified that Amber Heard staged a photo op of herself leaving a courthouse with a bruise on her face. How will testimony like this impact a jury? Will they see malice if they truly believe that that was staged?
Well, if they believe that she made that up and or lied throughout her testimony, yes, it makes it more apt for them to believe that she then somehow wrote this op-ed piece intentionally trying to harm him and was not a victim at all. It's still hard to believe it, though. Would any of you, and I say this rhetorically, invest any of your hard-earned dollars that Johnny Depp never did anything to her, verbally or physically, that could have led her to reasonably believe that she was a victim and thus write from that experience? All of you would say, no, I'm not investing any of my money. There was craziness going on with both of them, and thus she has the right to write about her experience.
But doesn't that come down to what we think assault is?
Or abuse.
Or abuse is, whether it's verbal, whether I think doesn't it go to each juror's definition of what that is to them?
It can be, but it goes to whether she has the right to say what she wrote and read through it step by step. Jeff, I keep telling you, read the damn article. I can't get you to do it because it doesn't have pictures of famous people and who act like we do when they go to the grocery store. Read it.
You only read picture books.
Let's go through it.
I would argue with him if I had a point. I don't.
It's valid.
You got me.
But I don't read picture books, Mark. Okay, so here's the thing, because obviously circling back to the initial question, it seems as though you're leaning towards Amber's side or completely on Amber's side. But also, this is a jury, right? So it might be like people on Twitter. So in your legal opinion, who made the most compelling argument, Amber or Johnny?
Okay, here's how I answer that question. They both made an unbelievably compelling argument that they should never get back together. That's it.
Like ever.
Now, again, that's out of the legal realm. I'm not a marital expert, but I have never chosen to defecate in the marital bed. I've never recorded my wife, and I don't think she has either, okay?
We didn't even need to know that, Mark.
Yeah, we did.
I think they both failed to prove their lawsuits. Their lawsuits needed to prove certain elements legally, and they failed to do so. Now, jurors are, listen, they're not the brightest sometimes. I had one jury come back and ask, what dose, D-O-S-E, that's how they spell does, unanimous mean? They couldn't spell unanimous. They didn't know what it meant right after the jurors were informed of what it was. So I have no faith in jurors most of the time, but in this case, I believe will find that Johnny Depp didn't prove that what she was doing was completely lying. She would have mentioned him in the article if that was her intention.
You think so? I don't know. You said you had no faith in juries, and I'm really feeling like it's going to look like Twitter. And it's just a matter of which Twitter, because there's different neighborhoods. And everybody got together for the same block party.
Yeah, I hope it's not like that. I hope that the defense lawyers for Heard go through and say, folks, even if you don't like our client, even if you think at times what she said wasn't supported by the evidence, the only issue is about the First Amendment. If you say that what she wrote was unlawful, well, it's all about what you're being able to write. It's your experience. It's what you believe.
But it took down Johnny Depp, no?
Yeah,
It took
what about
down
the court of public opinion?
Right.
I know that you're not, in there. It's a fictional place, but in reality, it impacts people's careers.
Right.
It impacts people's perception. So the court of public opinion are on Johnny Depp's side, no matter what happens in this trial. We can't prevent that.
Listen, I don't disagree with you that article further adversely impacted his career. That's of no consequence to me because legally, if what she wrote is constitutionally protected, and I've said it now about 4 times, then I don't care the result. She is allowed to do that. Dare somehow we say that what she wrote in that article, which you guys still have not read, that is unlawful. Then when you want to write about your experience, then you're not able to.
Not when it's made up.
I was
my opinion.
I was still thinking on how to spell unanimous.
I'm staring at Mark Igar's lighting. He's got that
a great
season 2 Housewives lighting.
He does.
He's got
Is
it
that
down.
really what this has become? Is that what we're focusing on? Okay.
Hey, you
All
started
right.
it.
Who did start it?
Mark, it seems like it doesn't even matter who's telling the truth, but in your opinion, what do you think the verdict's going to be?
I believe that both of them will not prevail with their lawsuits. I think that jurors will follow the law, hopefully. And I didn't mean all jurors cannot be relied upon, Erica. I believe that for the most part, however, they do follow the law. And in this case, they're going to say, Johnny, you didn't prove to us that this was all manufactured, that she was never, ever a victim of any domestic violence, and thus she absolutely made this whole article up. He failed to prove that. And she, of course, did not prove her countersuit.
I don't know.
So nobody getting anything is what you're saying.
That is correct.
But
The lawyers make money. They won't make anything.
Doesn't Johnny win? Even if he loses, doesn't he win? I think he's got.
You think he'll get his career back?
He's got the court of public opinion on his side
I mean,
after what went
for
down.
him at the end of each day.
I
They're
think so.
screaming for him. Am I right? Like, it's gone that way.
Good follow.
That's your expertise. That's not my expertise. For me, I found a lot of the stuff that I learned about him, one of my favorite actors of all time, very disturbing.
Yeah,
And it's going
that's
to be
fair.
difficult for me to look at him that way. If Hollywood wants to give him his jobs back, good for him.
No, well said, Mark. Thank you for bringing it home because at the end of the day, this is on both sides. This is a very disturbing, chaotic, unhealthy situation. So we appreciate you. And Mark, we hope that you come here live in studio one of these days. I feel like you fit right in. So hopefully we can arrange that.
I would like that, but I would be there to tell Jeff that the Washington Post is not for the bottom of his bird cage. You know, that would be the problem.
What's up, Mark?
Mark, first of all, you're not coming for my boy, okay? All right.
Was I hanging around your wife recently or something? What happened?
Maybe it was that pseudo Maverick invitation. I don't know.
Listen, Mark, stick around because we got me as Maverick coming up, buddy. You're going to want to stick around.
Exactly. And to our viewers out there, for more information on Mark and his law firm, you got to go to speaktomark.com. We appreciate you, Mark. Bye.
These guys, love you all. You're great.
You're the best, buddy.
Coming up on DBL, Jeff hits the streets to have
Get a good look, Mark.
with Top Gun trivia. How well did people know the movie?
Closed captioning provided by.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back.
We're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
This is what you want, and this is what you're gonna get.
We're gonna be real. Let's be real.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.
Like here. Huh? He's been here.
There's no ill will.
Yeah, I
Jeff,
think he has.
You feel no ill will.
No, man, that's how buddies. He does it because he knows that we can joke around. Like that.
see?
You know what I mean? So Mark's the best. I give it back to him, but I'm on camera. Don't worry. Behind the camera, I'm gonna give him a little phone call.
Yeah.
No, he's great.
He's funny.
the
He
best.
works it.
I like when people are more personable like that.
Yeah,
as
it's a
opposed
real
to,
person.
Hey, Mark, who do you think won?
And you know what else? Who likes that? Juries. And I don't think that Amber Heard's attorney especially has been very good to the juror. They're like this.
I don't think she's gonna win.
I don't either.
Mark's the professional.
To y'all's point,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, no matter who wins, the court of public opinion in this day and age is way more powerful than the facts. Nobody read the article. No one cares about the article. Mark's right when it comes to the court of law. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what side you want to win, the court of public opinion is more powerful for Johnny Depp.
Can you spell unanimously?
Unanimously. Yeah, you always should do this in a spelling bee. Unanimous. Okay, after Tori, I get to go.
No, I have the answer, so y'all go.
Why didn't you try first?
Oh, I won't look.
You already cheated.
No, I spelled it the way I thought, so I have no idea if I'm right. I swear
You
to
just
you.
said. All right,
I looked
well,
and
how
I
is
spelled
it?
it the
Try?
Go ahead.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Unanimously. UNANIMOUSLY. Unanimously.
Did she do it?
Yeah, that's
she
right.
did it!
pretty good.
That was so good. Do you know what word I got on my?
Reading out of the dictionary.
You know what word I got wrong on my 4th grade spelling test? Environment with that N.
Oh, that N.
That killed me. That N.
The R too. You mean the R for
Colonel.
Environ.
Ron.
Yeah, that's.
Environ.
I didn't think about Ron. Why are you there?
I thought it was over. Today's the day.
Environment. Government. What are you doing there, N?
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
The countdown is over. Today is the day that Top Gun Maverick drops in theaters, and earlier this week, I hit the streets of Denver to play a little Top Gun trivia to see how well people knew the original.
And to show off your look.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you up against the best. Yes, sir. You two characters are going to Top Gun. I feel the need for speed.
Here's the first trivia question. Who's your favorite person on Daily Blast Live?
That would be this gentleman standing right here.
There you go. You won yourself the gift card. We haven't even started yet.
I love it.
What is the song that Goose plays on the piano in the bar?
Goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire.
Wow. Here, we're going to keep going. I'm just going to give you this free gift card.
I don't know the title, but he says Great Balls of Fire.
That's the title, buddy.
Is that it? Hey, okay.
What does Maverick say to Goose in the bar to let him know it's time to sing to someone?
Sing for me. She's lost that love and feeling. She's lost that love and feeling?
That's right. She lost that love and feeling. You never close your eyes
Anymore.
There you go. What's the first lyric from the iconic Danger Zone song by Kenny Loggins?
No idea.
Nope.
Revving up your engines.
You got it right. Revving up your engine. I don't even know the next line. Revving up your engines.
To go real fast. I don't know.
Who is the actress who plays Goose's wife in Top Gun?
He never knows the real name. He only knows the movie character name.
I'll take the movie character name. Do you know that one?
I don't even know that one. Oh, Meg Ryan with a southern accent.
That's why I gave him the gift card already. Finish this sentence. I feel the need for
Speed.
Speed.
Speed. Ow, ow, ow. You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain.
What would your nickname be if you were a fighter pilot?
Ooh, Speedy Dolphin.
By land or sea?
Right, I chose.
What branch of the military is Top Gun about? The Navy, Army, or Air Force?
Ooh, Air Force.
Air Force.
Air Force. Is it Navy?
Yeah.
No, it is. Navy pilot, right, because it's right on Pete Mitchell, Navy. You're right. Canadians, right? Navy. Yeah, Navy veteran right here.
There, you know how many people got that wrong, including me today?
That's unfortunate.
It is the Navy, Naval Force.
Listen, my man.
Hey,
Good way to close this out.
Let's go. Hell yeah. I appreciate y'all. I'm so excited to be here. Go see Top Gun Maverick. It seems like a great movie, y'all. Can't wait to see it.
You just did my job. That's a wrap. See you guys.
That guy need a job?
Yeah, I was like, that's a wrap. He just closed it out for me.
Yeah, he took your outro.
Yeah, it was the best.
He did a good job.
That was so fun. Listen, everyone, Gabe back there, you cut that. Everyone on the street, there you are, buddy. Everyone who went out with me, I love that stuff.
That's how
it's
many
so fun.
passes did you have? Did you give out?
I don't know, like a dozen, something like that.
Any left?
And he left? No, but that man, listen, you know how great that guy was? Not only is he good at the outro, he's a very honest man because he worked for AMC and he goes, I can't accept this, and he gave it back.
No, wow,
Yeah.
he's a Top Gun Maverick. Okay. Yeah. I do have to say, I thought it was also Air Force.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, I knew it was Navy.
Okay.
Did you wear that jacket later?
She pointed to me and go, "Did you?" And then just pointed to Sam. Like, I know she didn't know.
You know you're getting plenty of action in that jacket.
Yeah, I wore it to bed.
Oh.
It was a rental. It was a rental.
Oh, you're right. Oh, great. I hope you dry cleaned it. Need for speed.
Suffer from pain?
This most recent horrific shooting is prompting a lot of anger, and many online are calling on Congress to do more. Some claiming that in the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed a single piece of gun control legislation. So is that true? Let's verify. Our sources are Todd Belt, the director of the Political Management Program at the George Washington University, various reports from the Congressional Research Service, and Congress.gov, which tracks past legislation. Let's start with our political expert.
That's absolutely true if we look at congressional legislation. There has been some new laws and regulations that have been sent through executive orders. But when it comes to congressional legislation, nothing has happened since Sandy Hook.
To confirm, we searched through Congress.gov for all bills signed into law over the last decade and found just 30 which had the words gun or firearm included. But most were just budget bills, and Belt says that none of these bills made significant changes to gun control laws. But that's not to say there haven't been attempts to pass laws. For example, in 2013, shortly after Sandy Hook, the Manchin-Toomey Amendment would have bolstered background checks, but it failed to get the 60 votes needed. These failed attempts are why presidents have used executive actions instead. For example, according to CRS, in April 2021, President Biden announced 6 executive actions relating to gun control, including one to try and crack down on ghost guns.
In the absence of congressional leadership on this issue, presidents have been taking the ball themselves and running with it.
So we could verify that this claim is true. In the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed any significant gun control legislation. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back. Accidents at home happen, but many of them are preventable. It's time for some DBL home tips presented by American Home Shield. Safety risks in your home can be easy to overlook, but if you're living with a young or elderly person, these are especially important. First, scald burns have injured thousands of people in the past couple of years. Make sure your water heater temperature is set no higher than 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, falls account for more than 8 million emergency visits each year. So make sure to address carpet, rug peeling, and always utilize non-slip pads. Lastly, make sure your TV is mounted securely and any unstable furniture is replaced, especially chairs. And remember, an American Home Shield home warranty plan helps cover many things homeowners insurance leaves out, like breakdowns of major components of home systems and appliances, so you can rest easy knowing you're ready for whatever breakdowns inevitably strike next. Visit ahs.com to find a plan that's right for you. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The National Rifle Association is holding their annual meeting in Houston, Texas, from May 27th through May 29th. Former President Donald Trump is speaking at the event. On Twitter, people are saying that guns are banned at the meeting in order to protect Trump and other speakers. So let's verify. Are guns banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting? We went to these sources for an answer. According to the NRA, quote, personal firearms may be carried in the George R. Brown Convention Center in accordance with Texas law, unquote. Texas law allows anyone over 21 to own a firearm. And as of September 1st, 2021, anyone who qualifies under the law can carry a handgun in a public place in Texas without a license to carry. But there is one time and place at the NRA event where guns aren't allowed, and that's in the General Assembly Hall at the Convention Center during former President Donald Trump's scheduled address on Friday, May 27th. According to a notice from the Secret Service published on the NRA's website, guns are prohibited from the hall during Trump's speech. While Trump is at the venue, the Secret Service has jurisdiction over that location, and they've prohibited several items, including guns and ammunition. So we can verify, no, guns are not banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting in Houston. But attendees can't carry one in an area of the venue while former President Donald Trump is speaking. With your Fast Fact, I'm Ariante Till.
Over the past month, I've gotten text messages addressed to Uncle Mike, inviting Jessica to a musical and offering condolences for my parents' passing. But none of them are real. And as that banner shows with my name, they weren't addressed to the right person. It turns out I'm not the only one getting these fishy texts. Several Verify viewers also sent us similar messages. and are wondering if it's a scam. So let's verify. Are scammers posing as people who are texting the wrong number? Our sources are the Better Business Bureau, the Federal Communications Commission, and the Office of New York's Attorney General. All of our sources say, while it could be an innocent mistake, these texts are more likely a new take on an old scam. One method is a version of a romance scam. The BBB warns it starts with someone trying to follow up on a date or a dating app match. Once the victim responds, the scammer tries to get them to provide their credit card information to join an adult dating website. The other method is to pose as a professional or to follow up on an in-person meeting, like a vet with information about a pet or an invitation to a musical. Once you respond saying, "You have the wrong number," the Office of New York's Attorney General says it tells the scammer they've reached an active number. This, in turn, leads to more unwanted messages trying to trick you into giving out your personal information. So, yes, scammers are posing as people who are texting the wrong number. The FCC tells Verify the safest thing you can do is simply not respond to unexpected messages, even though some of them may pluck at your heartstrings. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
One more story before we go. Ellen DeGeneres signed off for the last time yesterday. The comedian and television host was greeted with a 2-minute
Getting choked up, Sam?
Yeah. So, with a 2-minute standing ovation from her audience before giving her final opening monologue. Her first guest on her show way back in 2003 was Jennifer Aniston, and she was also her last. Ellen asked Aniston how she dealt with the end of her hit TV show, Friends. Take a look.
How did you deal with that?
Well, the ending of Friends. Well, I got a divorce and went into therapy. And then I did a movie called The Breakup. I just kind of leaned into the end.
And when she was on Friends. We're just commenting on how gorgeous Jennifer Aniston is. She doesn't age. She ages backwards. Ellen closed the show with some words of compassion. Take a listen to what she said.
By opening your heart and your mind, you're going to be that much more compassionate. And compassion is what makes the world a better place. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I feel the love, and I send it back to you. Bye.
Wow. And when she was done, Ellen walked across the stage, took a seat on a couch in front of a TV. Do you guys remember that?
This was her opening.
Yes, mirroring how she began her talk show 19 years ago. I remember that. Unbelievable. Now, you've been on Ellen's show as an audience member.
As an audience, yeah, not a guest.
So
Good to clarify.
Is this crazy?
Listen, I know Tori's rolling her eyes over here, but I'm happy for her. She's changed a lot of lives. She's done a lot for the LGBTQ plus community. She's
a pioneer.
Everyone wants to focus on like this little thing that she's had in her past. 19 years of doing good and changing people's lives. And I mean, an icon as far as TV, daytime television goes. So I got to give her flowers, Erica. I got to give her flowers, and I'm happy for her.
She's the reason I wanted to stand up.
Because you yanked the end of your show, you use her ending.
No, I don't. I
Be
just say
kind to each other.
I say be good to yourself too. First of all, I'm not saying she's awful. I'm saying there was a bad time and toxic environment in which people got fired and things got fixed. She's the reason I wanted to do stand-up. I love Ellen. I think she's done a lovely job, and I'm glad she's going to go have time. She's a great guerrilla refugee that she's working on. It's the Diane Fossey. She's picking it up, so she's going to go do her thing. And she really did change the entire narrative. The entire narrative.
And both can be true.
You weren't going that way?
No, but both can be true.
Yeah.
She can be an exceptional pioneer, which she is. She can be an exceptional person, and she could be allegedly someone that contributed to a workplace culture toxicity. We don't know all the details, but today we are going to give her flowers because
that's Erica's word. Tori's not allowed to say it anymore.
I can't too. So congrats to Ellen, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more from her. DBL's new every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Give her the flowers.
You get some flowers, Ellen. No, you give someone you give them their flowers, right?
That's why you're not allowed.
You give them.
where hope finds help, where courage meets conviction, where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities, where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back. I've already spent my time, my resources, and all of my sanity on trying to make you happy.
Whew, all right. No, we're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
We're in a fight already.
I'm all in with the knee now.
You are?
Absolutely not. No.
First girlfriend in Hollywood.
What?
Yes, baby.
I'm looking at a cutie, okay?
I love what you're doing. I just want to thank you.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.
About today on Daily Blast Live.
Outraged parents question the police response during the Texas school shooting. What were officers doing in the gunman's final 90 minutes? A member of Moms Demand Action will be here live in studio to talk about what her group is doing to stop gun violence. As the jury hears closing arguments in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial, criminal defense attorney Mark Eiglarsh will be here live to give his take on which way he thinks the decision will go. And in honor of Top Gun Maverick premiering today, Jeff Schroeder hits the streets to test people on their Top Gun knowledge.
I feel the need for speed.
Speed!
Speed! Ow!
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No.
Nope.
Y'all, just
It's
stop.
finally here. Drum roll.
Welcome to DBL. So today we have to talk about, well, what all of you are talking about, because police are facing some tough questions about their response to the mass shooting at a Texas elementary school. There is new footage, and it shows parents angrily confronting police for not going into the school sooner to stop the gunman. Take a look.
They're little kids. They don't know how to defend themselves. 6-year-old kids in there. They don't know how to defend themselves from a shooter.
The timeline of events has also changed according to police. Initially, police said the gunman was confronted by a school resource officer before entering the school. But now they're saying he entered the school, quote unquote, unobstructed. Earlier today, there was another press conference, and Texas Department of Safety officials tried to clear up some of the misinformation, confusion. Here's what they're saying about why it took so long to breach the room and stop the gunman. Take a look.
You know, the on-scene commander considered it a barricaded subject and that there was time and there were no more children at risk. If shooting continues and you have any reason to believe that there's individuals alive in there, you've got an obligation to move back to an active shooter posture, and that means everybody at the door. Of course it was not the right decision. It was the wrong decision, period. There's no excuse for that.
So if you watch the whole press conference, there was a moment where he described that at first active shooter situation, then a barricaded subject situation, and that's where he believed that he made the wrong call. Because if it was active shooter, they would have continued to try to get through that door and rescue as many children as possible. What are you thinking, Erica?
It's hard to think that, you know, anytime a life is taken, that someone made a wrong call. Like, you know, there are mistakes and then there's tragedy, and it's like tragedy on top of tragedy. at the same time, it's like everyone's talking about how the story keeps changing, and I'm not even. It's not that I'm not concerned about the story changing because we expect to get the proper information, but there were so many different things happening at one time, and it's very clear at this point that this was a department that was completely ill-prepared for any of this, from the top to the bottom, from the start to the finish. So it's not surprising that the information is changing because this has been...
Listen, I have my own opinion about what happened, but let's first confront why this happened. Let's not give this shooter any sort of pass. He is the reason this happened. The guns that he purchased are the reason this happened. So let's focus on that. I love when something happens, we focus over here. We're going to talk about that, but let's focus why this happened. This PO finished the... That's why this happened, okay? Now we can talk about some of the police. I know you have a lot of details about it, but I appreciate whoever that was coming forward and telling the truth.
I agree
and saying, listen, we screwed this up. You know what I mean? We made the wrong call. It was a barricade. There was 19 plus police officers there that fled. It's like, if you're not going to go into a burning fire, don't be a firefighter.
You don't take that oath. I'm mad. I'm angry. I get it. Listen, I appreciate many men and women in blue. Are you kidding me? They sacrifice their lives for us every single day. In that situation, if you're not going to go in there, you better let those parents go in there. If there was one police officer that told me I couldn't go in there when I hear screams, when I hear shots being fired, and if you're not going in there, and if you're not going to let me go in there, there was a mother that got in there. She jumped the fence. She wasn't able to go in the classroom, but she did find her 2 children, and she rescued them. So do not prevent me as a parent from getting my kids if you're not going to go in. That's where I stand.
Not only are you correct, there are cameras out there that showed parents doing just that, getting handcuffed. There was pepper spray involved. So let me just say to all of you, this needs an FBI federal investigation from an independent source. Joaquin Castro, who is a Democrat from Texas, has already called for one. Mistakes were made. Big mistakes. Children's lives. But I also agree, let's keep it on the shooter as well. But there were mistakes made, and I want to see them accounted for.
Yeah, I know. It's just, at this point, it's like, how much more can we say, right? Because you're not going to bring back those 19 lives or the countless other lives that have died over the last 20-something years with gun violence and mass shootings. Coming up on DBL, a member of Moms Demand Action joins us live in the studio to talk about how her group is calling for common sense gun reform.
Closed captioning provided by
This June, DBL is holding nothing back.
We're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
This is what you want, and this is what you're going to get. If we're going to be real, let's be real.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yep.
DBL is all new every day.
The police handled it, you know, like we're talking about the timeline a little bit more in detail, and now the new details are coming out.
Right.
Like the specific details, I should
Correct.
say.
So like 7 people went in originally. They were shot at.
Conversation over here for me, please. Thank you.
They were shot at and fired, and then 19 police officers.
So wait, what happened first?
7.
4 or what was
4
it?
went in one way, 3 went in another,
That's
and
right,
they were
7.
shot at. So that's 7.
Right.
They retreated. After that, soon after that, 19 officers, like Jeff said, also went in. But as they were shot at, they realized their commander, and this is so important because their commander said it, this has now turned from an active shooter situation into a barricaded subject situation, and in that case, they have to back off.
Fatal
That
mistake.
was the mistake.
Yeah,
and
that
he
was the
said, what you said is, he admitted 100%. Of course, that was the wrong decision to make.
But when you're hearing the gunshots and you make that call, right? That's okay. Mistakes happen. I understand that. And you know, we could say, you know, Monday morning quarterback this whole thing and say, this is what they should have done. When you're there and there's an active shooter, it's fight or flight, right? Police should.
They should be trained.
They should be trained to have that. But once you make that call, you hear, they just got through training. And once you hear those gunshots,
it changes.
It's no longer that anymore. It's an active shooter.
Right.
You go right back in.
Correct.
You don't wait an hour.
But if your
So who made
commander,
that call?
if the commander has said this is not an active shooter, and you hear gunshots, who do you go to? Yourself, or do you go to?
I'm not a police officer, and that means that situation is no longer true. It's an active shooter.
But you have a rank. You have a rank.
But what
you
is
got to
wrong
follow
with
the
the person
commander. Then you're you're mutinizing. That's not. I don't think that's the right word. I think it's close. I think it's really close.
We're gonna end there.
Okay. Bye.
Welcome back. Just days after the school shooting in Texas, the National Rifle Association is kicking off a huge convention in Houston today, with 50,000 people planning on attending. Well, protests are expected. Speaking of which, at schools all across the country yesterday, our youth, the students, they staged walkouts protesting the lack of action from the adults to keep them safe from gun violence. But there is some good news. A bipartisan group of senators met yesterday to discuss possible gun safety legislation. Please. So for more on this, we are joined by Jessica Price. She is a mom of 3 and a high school teacher. She's also a local leader of a national group, Moms Demand Action, calling for common sense gun reform. Welcome, Jessica.
All right, Jessica, you are a high school teacher. You're also a mom, and I just want to know. Okay, they say my mic. All right, we're not on mute anymore. You're a high school teacher and a mom. I wanted to ask you how you're personally feeling just during all this. Like, how are you doing?
This has been a really, really hard week. Wrapping up school myself with my own students and seeing them get ready to graduate and seeing them be excited, but then having this kind of loom over again.
Yeah, right.
I'm working with the generation that they call themselves the lockdown generation. And so it's been hard. It's been really hard. And then I have 3 children. My daughter just turned 11 today.
Oh, happy birthday.
And I have 2 teenage boys. And yesterday, my husband and I were sitting watching my daughter in her 5th grade continuation. And as much as I was trying so hard just to focus on her and be there for her and be celebratory for her, I couldn't help but think about the parents who aren't able to do that. That earlier this week, that was their plan, and their plan changed. And I noticed that in the front row of where all the kids were sitting in the auditorium, there were 19 kids.
Wow.
And as I sat there and I counted the 19 kids, it was absolutely horrific. And I think every parent in that auditorium was thinking the same thing that I was thinking. Like, at any moment, that I could be any other parent that's just, in deep, deep grief for the rest of your life, really.
Yeah.
Jessica, tell us about Moms Demand Action and how you got involved.
So Moms Demand Action is a national organization. It was founded by Shannon Watts right after.
Yes. I'm a huge fan of Shannon Watts.
I think she's all of our shero. She founded it right after the Sandy Hook shooting. She was a mom just like me and just was like, this is crazy. Something has got to happen. And I think that she really went into it thinking something's going to happen now. Here we are, we're talking about these children who were murdered in their classroom. And so she started Moms Demand Action. And as we know, the shootings have still continued. And so I didn't know a whole lot about her or about moms until after Parkland. And because I'm a high school teacher, right after Parkland, I saw all these young people, students, that I have the same age, were out marching and out protesting and talking to legislators within hours of this traumatic event. And I thought, this is crazy. If they can be out doing this, then I need to be doing something. And I teach high school government, and so I encourage my kids to get engaged, and I thought, this is it. This is my chance. And so my sister and I found Moms Demand Action. There wasn't a local group in our city, so we said, well, all right, we'll start one. And it has been an absolute whirlwind since. I did not anticipate it taking over my life the way that it has, but it has been at least fulfilling to feel like I'm part of the solution and that we're trying and that we're doing things. And I know that there's been some small successes, but we have to remind ourselves this is a marathon, not a sprint. And in weeks like this, it's hard.
Jessica, let me first commend you on your activism and being an educator. I have a 5 and a 3-year-old, so thank you. Hopefully we do something in the future it's in grammar schools too, so nobody's safe.
Right.
I always talk about this being a political Democrat or Republican. How about a sensible party? A sensible party. Let's put some ideas on the table instead of just throwing them away and sticking to your political party. What are you guys coming up with? What ideas do you guys have for gun reform?
Well, I mean, going back to the political parties, this is a nonpartisan issue.
Exactly.
Saving the lives of children should not be about Democrats and Republicans. It makes no sense. Our organization is a nonpartisan organization. We have people in our group that are Republicans, Democrats, gun owners. We have people from all over. And this is a nonpartisan issue that we have got to stop making a partisan issue. When the vast majority of Americans agree on things like universal background checks, it's ridiculous that this is a partisan issue. We would like to see universal background checks. We know that there are some states that do have a pretty robust background check system. I'm from Colorado. We have a great background check system in Colorado, but we're only as safe as the state next door. And so when it's not federal, that makes it really, really tricky. We would like to see red flag laws. People should have an option when we know that there is something going on where somebody might be a threat to themselves or to others. We need options. Family members need options. The police need options. And we know, we have all the evidence and data in the world that proves that red flag laws do work. There's not going to be one solution that solves gun violence and ends mass shootings. But when we start implementing some of these laws, we do know that there is a decrease in gun violence. So red flag laws, universal background checks, age limits on purchasing weapons. We know that, you know, this young man was 18 years old. He was a high school student. There is no reason in the world why he should have had an assault style weapon.
Yeah, and that age
two of them.
And the age limit was just dropped last year to 18.
Right, and you have to be 25 to rent a car, so that should really explain everything. I have to ask you, because you're on the ground floor, and thank you. You found your chapter after Parkland. And very little policy changes happened after Parkland, unfortunately, because these 19 kids would still be alive today if there were federal policy changes. I know a lot of parents are thinking this, and I don't want to lose hope, but do you really feel that we're going to be able to enact these common sense gun laws?
I have to have hope. If you don't have hope and you're part of this movement, then you're not going to be in this movement for very long. Like I said, we have to remind ourselves that this is a marathon. This is not a sprint. It is hard. There are days where we have to take a little bit of a break, and we have to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves. This movement is incredibly difficult. My sister and I have had many, many moments where we've had to take a little bit of a step back and remind ourselves that we got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of our own children. I do still have hope. I have to have hope. It's hard to have hope when what it's going to take is a change in people's moral compass and a change in so many policies around the gun lobby and around how campaigns are financed and the money that the gun lobby continues to pour into our system. So it's going to take a lot, but somebody has to do the work.
No, we will.
We have to.
And you are doing it.
Yes, thank you.
You walk the walk, and I thank you. We thank you. Jessica, we also want to make sure to all of our viewers out there, if you want to get involved with Moms Demand Action, text READY to 64433. Again, text READY to 64433. You can also visit their website at momsdemandaction.org. Thank you again, Jessica. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
We'll be right back. Thank you.
If you've got
This most recent horrific shooting is prompting a lot of anger, and many online are calling on Congress to do more. Some claiming that in the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed a single piece of gun control legislation. So is that true? Let's verify. Our sources are Todd Belt, the director of the Political Management Program at the George Washington University, various reports from the Congressional Research Service, and Congress.gov, which tracks past legislation. Let's start with our political expert.
That's absolutely true if we look at congressional legislation. There has been some new laws and regulations that have been sent through executive orders. But when it comes to congressional legislation, nothing has happened since Sandy Hook.
To confirm, we searched through Congress.gov for all bills signed into law over the last decade and found just 30 which had the words gun or firearm included. But most were just budget bills, and Belt says that none of these bills made significant changes to gun control laws. But that's not to say there haven't been attempts to pass laws. For example, in 2013, shortly after Sandy Hook, the Manchin-Toomey Amendment would have bolstered background checks, but it failed to get the 60 votes needed. These failed attempts are why presidents have used executive actions instead. For example, according to CRS, in April 2021, President Biden announced 6 executive actions relating to gun control, including one to try and crack down on ghost guns.
In the absence of congressional leadership on this issue, presidents have been taking the ball themselves and running with it.
So we could verify that this claim is true. In the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed any significant gun control legislation. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back. This week has been really tough, and I know that emotions are running high for a lot of us. It turns out a lot of folks are not sure how to respond emotionally to tragic news like what happened in Texas, but not to worry. That's okay. Experts say there's more than one way to process trauma, and that feelings of sadness, rage, anger, fear, they're all normal. So let's just take a minute, talk about this past week. How are you processing what happened and all the emotions that come with it?
I'll start. You know, I started the week off angry. I was angry, and I didn't mean to be that way when we first started talking about that, but I'm glad to see that my emotions reflect what America's feeling. I feel like this is the final straw. It's tough when you sit up here and talk about these issues because you take it home with you. And this issue, especially, you're taking home. But it's tough because it weighs on you. And then you go home and you see your kids, and it's like, why doesn't everyone just see what I'm seeing? Just some compassion. Like these parents, the ripple effect is just astronomical. And to counter that with hate or these are my rights, I can't just get on a plane and start flying it because I'm an American. You have to go to school. You have to get a license. Why can't we do that with guns? My dad's a hunter. He doesn't mind going to school. He doesn't mind putting his bullets back after he shoots them. I think most hunters would say the same thing. To let an 18-year-old with an unstable past purchase an assault rifle with 375 bullets, what do you think's going to happen? But let's not talk about that because these are my rights. I don't know. I'm confused as well as angry and everything else.
Wow.
Yeah,
well said. You said that.
Yeah.
You said it all.
Yeah. Yeah. I really feel like a lot of people have said to me, like, I'm going to leave the country. I'm going to leave the country. And as someone who could actually leave the country because my husband is a dual citizen and we've had those discussions whether we'd live here or live in Canada. And I'm like, I'm not gonna just leave because our system is completely messed up. First of all, I'm gonna leave all of my friends and family and everybody I care about so that I'm personally safe? Like, that seems a little extreme. But at the same time, I'm also a person who has to make a decision to have a child. Like, I have to physically do something other than, like, I'm not gonna have one naturally. Is that something that I want to do? Is that, like, in my mind, I'm thinking, is this God telling me that I shouldn't force something that's not naturally for me?
That's exactly the way I feel. That's exactly the way I feel. The whole kid conversation, and I know some of you out there, you're just like, do I do this? Do I go here? Do I put this out in the world and then give that up? But you also are like, well, what else should I do? And I'm just right there with you, Erica. I'm really right there with you, and it's a tough place to be. Really tough. And I think about you with kids. I mean, I think about, how do you feel, Sam?
Well, thank you, both of you, for being so transparent, because I know a lot of our viewers feel the same way, and thank you. For me, I just want to do more. I'm very inspired by Jessica. I thank Jessica for being here. I hope I can help in some way, shape, or form. I want to be part of the solution. And yeah, I don't want my kids to have to do active shooter drills. I don't want them to, God forbid, lose their life to something we can prevent. And there's already too many lives that have lost. It's too late for too many families.
Yeah.
So I hope this is the straw, Jeff. I hope this is it. I really do. Well, we're going to share your comments after the break because our viewers have a lot to say as well, and we love hearing from you. Stay with us.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
the National Rifle Association is holding their annual meeting in Houston, Texas, from May 27th through May 29th. Former President Donald Trump is speaking at the event. On Twitter, people are saying that guns are banned at the meeting in order to protect Trump and other speakers. So let's verify. Are guns banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting? We went to these sources for an answer. According to the NRA, quote, personal firearms may be carried in the George R. Brown Convention Center in accordance with Texas law, unquote. Texas law allows anyone over 21 to own a firearm. And as of September 1st, 2021, anyone who qualifies under the law can carry a handgun in a public place in Texas without a license to carry. But there is one time and place at the NRA event where guns aren't allowed, and that's in the General Assembly Hall at the Convention Center during former President Donald Trump's scheduled address on Friday, May 27th. According to a notice from the Secret Service published on the NRA's website, guns are prohibited from the hall during Trump's speech. While Trump is at the venue, the Secret Service has jurisdiction over that location, and they've prohibited several items, including guns and ammunition. So we can verify, no, guns are not banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting in Houston. But attendees can't carry one in an area of the venue while former President Donald Trump is speaking. With your Fast Fact, I'm Ariante Till.
Over the past month, I've gotten text messages addressed to Uncle Mike, inviting Jessica to a musical and offering condolences for my parents' passing. But none of them are real. And as that banner shows with my name, they weren't addressed to the right person. It turns out I'm not the only one getting these fishy texts. Several Verify viewers also sent us similar messages and are wondering if it's a scam. So let's verify. Are scammers posing as people who are texting the wrong number? Our sources are the Better Business Bureau, the Federal Communications Commission, and the Office of New York's Attorney General. All of our sources say, while it could be an innocent mistake, these texts are more likely a new take on an old scam. One method is a version of a romance scam. The BBB warns it starts with someone trying to follow up on a date or a dating app match. Once the victim responds, the scammer tries to get them to provide their credit card information to join an adult dating website. The other method is to pose as a professional or to follow up on an in-person meeting, like a vet with information about a pet or an invitation to a musical. Once you respond saying, "You have the wrong number," the Office of New York's Attorney General says it tells the scammer they've reached an active number. This, in turn, leads to more unwanted messages trying to trick you into giving out your personal information. So, yes, scammers are posing as people who are texting the wrong number. The FCC tells Verify the safest thing you can do is simply not respond to unexpected messages, even though some of them may pluck at your heartstrings. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
Welcome back. We love sharing your comments. We have a lot of our viewers just voicing their thoughts, their feelings. Mary Lee says, if law enforcement will not go in against an assault weapon, what more do we have to endure before we remove these weapons?
Amen.
It's a great point. You're bringing a knife into a gunfight.
That's right. They were outgunned.
Right. Kat says gun shop owners should also have some responsibility, to Jeff's point. And if an 18-year-old walks in to buy 2 assault rifles, why would you not ask his intention? There shouldn't even be a conversation. This just should not be allowed.
So this is another question: is do we hold the gun shop responsible, owners responsible, and the gun makers? Can they now be held?
They're not. There's nothing holding them back legally.
Right.
Right. So they're not responsible right now. Government needs to put that into effect.
Yeah. Do your work, Congress. Start legislating, please. If you're leaving us, you can watch the second half of the show online, but if you get the second half of the show where you are, here is what's ahead. Veteran trial attorney, friend of the show, Mark Eiglarsh, joins us live to give us his take on which way he thinks the decision will go in the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. And how well do you remember the original Top Gun movie? Jeff hits the streets, loving his outfit a little to quiz people on some fun gun trivia.
You see that? He strutted.
Trivia.
As we gear up for Memorial Day weekend, you may be planning for a cookout with the family, maybe a trip to the beach, but inflation might have you second guessing it all. So let's verify. How much have the prices gone up? Our sources are the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, Jonathan Church, an economist for the agency, and AAA. And let's start with my favorite, food. How much could that cookout cost you? Well, according to BLS, food prices are up 9.4% on their Consumer Price Index. That's from April 2021 to April 2022, with an especially big jump for meat, poultry, fish, and eggs, jumping by 14.3% in a year. And according to the Bureau, the average price for a pound of beef as of April was $4.95, up from $4.29 in April of last year.
It really hits home on the kitchen table with grocery store prices.
The good news is that we're not seeing quite as big of an increase for alcohol prices, up just 3.9% in a year, according to that Consumer Price Index. Then there are travel costs. Church says that according to the index, airfare has spiked by, listen to this, 33.3% from April 2021 to April 2022. And you're not getting relief at the pump either. This time last year, on May 24th, 2021, AAA released this press release, lamenting the highest gas prices since 2014. The national average was $3.03 per gallon back then. Now it's $4.60 per gallon, a record high, according to AAA.
The big picture is pretty much what everybody already knows, is that we're seeing double-digit inflation in categories that really hit people's wallets.
So we can verify that you'll be paying up a lot more this holiday weekend than last year. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
This is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about.
Oh my gosh.
Are you insane? This is a sham.
No. Nope.
Y'all just stop.
Finally here, drum roll.
Consider, for instance, this line, quote, "Imagine a powerful man is a ship, like the Titanic. The ship, the Titanic, is Mr. Depp. And Ms. Heard was the iceberg that sank him."
Because in Mr. Depp's world, you don't leave Mr. Depp. And if you do, he will start a campaign of global humiliation against you.
Oof. Welcome to DBL. I'm Sam here with Jeff, Erica, and Tori. Attorneys for Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are making their closing arguments today. But despite capturing everyone's attention, there still seems to be some confusion on what this defamation trial is really about. So for a legal perspective, we are joined today by former prosecutor, friend of the show, and veteran trial attorney Mark Eiglar.
Yep.
Oh, that's very kind of you. Very sweet. Thank you.
He's so deadpan.
Mark, let's get to it, because the Twitter sphere is a Twitter about this whole trial. And I think that some people might be spot on. Some people might be getting it wrong. What do you think people are getting the most wrong about this trial?
Okay, I say this with love and respect to the members of the Court of Public Opinion. They don't have a clue of what this case is actually about. It's not a spectator sport. It's not I'm on Team Depp or Team Heard and who do I like more. It's about this. It's about something that people haven't chosen to read. It's a Washington Post op-ed published December 18th, 2018 by Amber Heard, who simply documents her feelings about being a domestic violence victim. She doesn't name Johnny Depp. And so the sole issue is whether what she's writing is constitutionally protected or not. Is it defamatory? And in order for Johnny Depp to prevail, and I don't believe that he will, he's got to show that she completely made everything up, actual malice. I don't believe she hit that burden.
Wow. We'll see. We'll see. So, Mark, what is a closing argument? Tori's explained it wrongly on the show before.
Many times.
What does it involve and how important are they?
I have not.
Critical, okay? Because Amber Heard's lawyers need to do the following. They need to take this article and blow it up and go line by line and say, okay, what is not constitutionally protected? The fact that she said that I was exposed to abuse at a very young age? No, that's protected. Okay, that I felt the full force of our culture's wrath for women who speak out? She's allowed to say that. That's protected. I had the rare vantage point of seeing in real time how institutions protect men accused of abuse. We don't want to take away her First Amendment freedoms to say those things, because then they come for our freedoms. So it's about the First Amendment.
However, the part in it in which she said she was an abused person, which is in it, I don't think that Johnny Depp shows, or I don't believe the jury believes that he actually abused her. And if that's the one line that they need to describe, I think she looks like a fake. And I think she looks like that in terms to the jury. You're disagreeing, is that correct?
I'm saying, let's say 99%, and I don't think it's as high, of what flowed from her lips is absolute malarkey, and the jurors think that she's full of it. If there's 1% belief that she believed that she was an abused person and thus has the right to then write about that experience, he doesn't win. That's the issue. It's not who do you like more. It's not about that. The sole issue is, did he meet his burden of proving that she lied, actual malice, when she talked about her experience as an abused person? And listen, the audio tapes alone suggest, at least verbally, she went through hell. That's enough.
Right. Now, but Mark, okay, so if you can show malice, like for instance, an ex-TMZ employee testified that Amber Heard staged a photo op of herself leaving a courthouse with a bruise on her face. How will testimony like this impact a jury? Will they see malice if they truly believe that that was staged?
Well, if they believe that she made that up and or lied throughout her testimony, yes, it makes it more apt for them to believe that she then somehow wrote this op-ed piece intentionally trying to harm him and was not a victim at all. It's still hard to believe it, though. Would any of you, and I say this rhetorically, invest any of your hard-earned dollars that Johnny Depp never did anything to her, verbally or physically, that could have led her to reasonably believe that she was a victim and thus write from that experience? All of you would say, no, I'm not investing any of my money. There was craziness going on with both of them, and thus she has the right to write about her experience.
But doesn't that come down to what we think assault is?
Or abuse.
If it's, or abuse is, whether it's verbal, whether I think it's, doesn't it go to each juror's definition of what that is to them?
It can be, but it goes to whether she has the right to say what she wrote and read through it step by step. Jeff, I keep telling you, read the damn article. I can't get you to do it because it doesn't have pictures of famous people and who act like, we do when they go to the grocery store. Read it.
You only read picture books.
And go through it.
I would argue with him if I had a point. I don't.
He's valid.
You got me.
But I don't read picture books, Mark. Okay, so here's the thing, because obviously circling back to the initial question, it seems as though you're leaning towards Amber's side or completely on Amber's side. But also, this is a jury, right? So it might be like people on Twitter. So in your legal opinion, who made the most compelling argument, Amber or Johnny?
Okay, here's how I answer that question. They both made an unbelievably compelling argument that they should never get back together. That's it.
Like ever.
Now, again, that's out of the legal realm. I'm not a marital expert, but I have never chosen to defecate in the marital bed. I've never recorded my wife, and I don't think she has either, okay?
We didn't even need to know that, Mark.
Yeah, we did.
I think they both failed to prove their lawsuits. Their lawsuits needed to prove certain elements legally, and they failed to do so. Now, jurors are, listen, they're not the brightest sometimes. I had one jury come back and ask, what dose, D-O-S-E, that's how they spell does, unanimous mean? They couldn't spell unanimous. They didn't know what it meant right after the jurors were informed of what it was. So I have no faith in jurors most of the time. But in this case, I believe, will find that Johnny Depp didn't prove that what she was doing was completely lying. She would have mentioned him in the article if that was her intention.
You think so? I don't know. You said you had no faith in juries, and I'm really feeling like it's going to look like Twitter. And it's just a matter of like which Twitter, because there's different neighborhoods. And everybody got together for the same block party.
Yeah, I hope it's not like that. I hope that the defense lawyers for Heard go through and say, folks, even if you don't like our client, even if you think at times what she said wasn't supported by the evidence, the only issue is about the First Amendment. If you say that what she wrote was unlawful, well, it's all about what you're being able to write. It's your experience. It's what you believe.
But it took down Johnny Depp, no?
Yeah,
It took
what about
down
the court of public opinion?
Right.
I know that you're not, in there. It's a fictional place, but in reality, it impacts people's careers.
Right.
It impacts people's perception. So the court of public opinion are on Johnny Depp's side, no matter what happens in this trial. We can't prevent that.
Listen, I don't disagree with you that that article further adversely impacted his career. That's of no consequence to me because legally, if what she wrote is constitutionally protected, and I've said it now about 4 times, then I don't care the result. She is allowed to do that. Dare somehow we say that what she wrote in that article, which you guys still have not read, that is unlawful. Then when you want to write about your experience, then you're not able to.
Not when it's made up,
I was
my opinion.
I was still thinking on how to spell unanimous.
I'm staring at Mark Igar's lighting. He's got that
got a great
season
purple-
2 Housewives
Yeah,
lighting.
he does.
Lighting.
He's got
Is
it
that
done.
really what this has become? Is that what we're focusing on? Okay.
Hey, you
All right.
started it.
Who did start it?
Mark, it seems like it doesn't even matter who's telling the truth, but in your opinion, what do you think the verdict's going to be?
I believe that both of them will not prevail with their lawsuits. I think that jurors will follow the law, hopefully. And I didn't mean all jurors cannot be relied upon, Erica. I believe that for the most part, however, they do follow the law. And in this case, they're going to say, Johnny, you didn't prove to us that this was all manufactured, that she was never, ever a victim of any domestic violence, and thus she absolutely made this whole article up. He failed to prove that. And she, of course, did not prove her countersuit.
I don't know.
So nobody getting anything is what you're saying.
That is correct.
But
The lawyers make money. They won't make anything.
Doesn't Johnny win? Even if he loses, doesn't he win? I think he's got.
You think he'll get his career back?
He's got the
saying
court of public opinion
Yeah.
on his side
I mean,
after
they're
what
cheering
went
for
down.
him at the end of each day.
I
They're
think so.
screaming for him. Am I right? Like, it's gone that way.
Good follow.
That's your expertise. That's not my expertise. For me, I found a lot of the stuff that I learned about him, one of my favorite actors of all time, very disturbing.
Yeah,
And it's going
that's
to be
fair.
difficult for me to look at him that way. If Hollywood wants to give him his jobs back, good for him.
That's
no,
fair.
well said, Mark. Thank you for bringing it home because at the end of the day, this is on both sides. This is a very disturbing, chaotic, unhealthy situation. So we appreciate you. And Mark, we hope that you come here live in studio one of these days. I feel like you fit right in. So hopefully we can arrange
I would
that.
like that, but I would be there to tell Jeff that the Washington Post is not for the bottom of his bird cage. You know, that would be a problem.
I don't. What's up, Mark?
Mark, first of all, you're not coming for my boy, okay? All right.
Was I hanging around your wife recently or something? What happened?
Maybe it was that pseudo Maverick invitation. I don't know.
Listen, Mark, stick around because we got me as Maverick coming up, buddy. You're gonna want to stick around.
Exactly. And to our viewers out there, for more information on Mark and his law firm, you got to go to speaktomark.com. We appreciate you, Mark. Bye.
These guys, love you all. You're
Love
great.
you.
Thanks, buddy.
Coming up on DBL, Jeff hits the streets to have
Get a
some
good look,
fun
Mark.
with Top Gun trivia. How well did people know the movie?
Closed captioning provided by
This June, DBL is holding nothing back.
We're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
This is what you want, and this is what you're going to get. If we're going to be real, let's be real.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right? Yep.
DBL is all new every day.
Like here, huh? He's been here. There's no ill will.
Yeah, I
Jeff,
think he has.
You feel no ill will.
No, man, that's how buddies. He does it because he knows that we can joke around. Like that. You know what I mean? So Mark's the best. I give it back to him, but I'm on camera. Don't worry. Behind the camera, I'm gonna give him a little phone call.
Yeah.
No, he's great.
funny,
He's
he
the best.
works it.
I like when people are more personable like that.
Yeah,
as opposed
it's a real
to,
person.
Hey, Mark, who do you think won?
And you know what else? Who likes that? Juries. And I don't think that Amber Heard's attorney, especially, has been very good to the juror. They're like this.
I don't think she's gonna win.
I don't either.
Mark's the professional.
To y'all's point. Yeah. At the end of the day, no matter who wins, the court of public opinion in this day and age is way more powerful than the facts. Nobody read the article. No one cares about the article. Mark's right when it comes to the court of law. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on what side you want to win, the court of public opinion is more powerful for Johnny Depp.
Can you spell unanimously?
Unanimously. Yeah, you always should do this in a spelling bee. Unanimous. Okay, after Tori, I get to go. No, I have the answer, so y'all go.
Why didn't you try first?
Oh, I won't look.
We already cheated.
No, I spelled it the way I thought, so I have no idea if I'm right. I swear to you.
You just said. All right,
I looked
well,
and I spelled it.
Go ahead.
Okay, go.
Yeah.
Okay, go. Unanimously. U-N Animously. Unanimously.
Did she do it?
Yeah, that's
she
right.
did it!
That was pretty good.
That was so good. Do you know what word I got on my?
Reading out of the dictionary.
You know what word I got wrong on my 4th grade spelling test? Environment with that N.
Oh, that N.
That killed me. That N.
Well, the R too. You mean the R for
Colonel.
Environ.
Ron.
Yeah, that's.
Environ.
I didn't think about Ron. Why are you there?
I thought it was over. Today's the day.
Environment. Government. What are you doing there, N?
Here we go. In 3, 2, 1.
The countdown is over. Today is the day that Top Gun Maverick drops in theaters, and earlier this week, I hit the streets of Denver to play a little Top Gun trivia to see how well people knew the original.
And just show off your look.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you up against the best. Yes, sir. You two characters are going to Top Gun. I feel the need for speed.
Here's the first trivia question. Who's your favorite person on Daily Blast Live?
That would be this gentleman standing right here.
There you go. You won yourself the gift card. We haven't even started yet.
I love it.
What is the song that Goose plays on the piano in the bar?
Goodness gracious, Great Balls of Fire.
Wow. Here, we're going to keep going. I'm just going to give you this free gift card.
I don't know the title, but he says Great Balls of Fire.
That's the title, buddy.
Hey, okay.
What does Maverick say to Goose in the bar to let him know it's time to sing to someone?
Sing for me.
She's lost that love and feeling.
She's lost that love and feeling?
That's right. She lost that love and feeling. You never close your eyes
Anymore.
There you go. What's the first lyric from the iconic Danger Zone song by Kenny Loggins?
No idea.
Nope.
Revving up your engines.
You got it right. Revving up your engine. I don't even know the next line.
Revving up your engines.
To go real fast.
I don't know. Who is the actress who plays Goose's wife in Top Gun?
He never knows the real name. He only knows the movie character name.
I'll take the movie character name. Do you know that one?
I need to know that. Oh, Meg Ryan with a southern accent.
That's why I gave him the gift card already. Finish this sentence. I feel the need for speed.
Speed.
Speed. Ow, ow, ow.
You shake my nerves and you rattle my brain.
What would your nickname be if you were a fighter pilot?
Ooh, Speedy Dolphin.
By land or sea?
Right, I chose.
What branch of the military is Top Gun about? The Navy, Army, or Air Force?
Ooh, Air Force.
Air Force.
Air Force.
Is it Navy?
Yeah.
No, it is. Navy pilot. Right, because it's right on Pete Mitchell, Navy. You're right. Canadians, right? Navy. Yeah.
Navy veteran right here.
There, you know how many people got that wrong, including me today?
That's unfortunate.
It is the Navy, Naval Force.
Listen, my man.
Hey,
Good way to close this out.
Let's go. Hell yeah. I appreciate y'all. I'm so excited to be here. Go see Top Gun Maverick. It seems like a great movie, y'all. Can't wait to see it.
You just did my job. That's a wrap. See you guys.
That guy need a job?
Yeah, I was like, that's a wrap. He just closed it out for me.
Yeah, he took your outro.
Yeah, it was the best.
He did a good job.
That was so fun. Listen, everyone, Gabe back there, you cut that. Everyone on the street, there you are, buddy. Everyone who went out with me, I love that stuff.
How
it's
many
so fun.
passes did you have? Did you give out?
I don't like a dozen, something like that.
Any left?
And he left? No, but that man, listen, you know how great that guy was? Not only is he good at the outro, he's a very honest man because he worked for AMC and he goes, I can't accept this, and he gave it back.
No, wow,
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
a Top Gun Maverick. Okay.
Yeah.
I do have to say, I thought it was also Air Force.
Yeah.
Did you?
No, I knew it was Navy.
Okay.
Did you wear that
I like
jacket
how
later?
She pointed to me and go, "Did you?" And then just pointed to Sam like, I know she didn't know.
You know you're getting plenty of action in that jacket.
Yeah, I wore it to bed.
Oh.
It was a rental. It was a rental.
Oh, you're right. Oh, great. I hope you dry cleaned it.
Need for speed.
Suffer from pain?
This most recent horrific shooting is prompting a lot of anger, and many online are calling on Congress to do more. Some claiming that in the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed a single piece of gun control legislation. So is that true? Let's verify. Our sources are Todd Belt, the director of the Political Management Program at the George Washington University, various reports from the Congressional Research Service, and Congress.gov, which tracks past legislation. Let's start with our political expert.
That's absolutely true if we look at congressional legislation. There has been some new laws and regulations that have been sent through executive orders. But when it comes to congressional legislation, nothing has happened since Sandy Hook.
To confirm, we searched through Congress.gov for all bills signed into law over the last decade and found just 30 which had the words gun or firearm included. But most were just budget bills, and Belt says that none of these bills made significant changes to gun control laws. But that's not to say there haven't been attempts to pass laws. For example, in 2013, shortly after Sandy Hook, the Manchin-Toomey Amendment would have bolstered background checks, but it failed to get the 60 votes needed. These failed attempts are why presidents have used executive actions instead. For example, according to CRS, in April 2021, President Biden announced 6 executive actions relating to gun control, including one to try and crack down on ghost guns.
In the absence of congressional leadership on this issue, presidents have been taking the ball themselves and running with it.
So we could verify that this claim is true. In the near decade since Sandy Hook, Congress has not passed any significant gun control legislation. With your Verify, I'm Evan Kozlov.
Welcome back. Accidents at home happen, but many of them are preventable. It's time for some DBL home tips presented by American Home Shield. Safety risks in your home can be easy to overlook, but if you're living with a young or elderly person, these are especially important. First, scald burns have injured thousands of people in the past couple of years. Make sure your water heater temperature is set no higher than 120 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, falls account for more than 8 million emergency visits each year. So make sure to address carpet, rug peeling, and always utilize non-slip pads. Lastly, make sure your TV is mounted securely and any unstable furniture is replaced, especially chairs. And remember, an American Home Shield home warranty plan helps cover many things homeowners insurance leaves out, like breakdowns of major components of home systems and appliances, so you can rest easy knowing you're ready for whatever breakdowns inevitably strike next. Visit ahs.com to find a plan that's right for you. We'll be right back.
Promotional consideration is brought to you by
The National Rifle Association is holding their annual meeting in Houston, Texas, from May 27th through May 29th. Former President Donald Trump is speaking at the event. On Twitter, people are saying that guns are banned at the meeting in order to protect Trump and other speakers. So let's verify. Are guns banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting? We went to these sources for an answer. According to the NRA, quote, personal firearms may be carried in the George R. Brown Convention Center in accordance with Texas law, unquote. Texas law allows anyone over 21 to own a firearm. And as of September 1st, 2021, anyone who qualifies under the law can carry a handgun in a public place in Texas without a license to carry. But there is one time and place at the NRA event where guns aren't allowed, and that's in the General Assembly Hall at the Convention Center during former President Donald Trump's scheduled address on Friday, May 27th. According to a notice from the Secret Service published on the NRA's website, guns are prohibited from the hall during Trump's speech. While Trump is at the venue, the Secret Service has jurisdiction over that location, and they've prohibited several items, including guns and ammunition. So we can verify, no, guns are not banned from the 151st annual NRA meeting in Houston. But attendees can't carry one in an area of the venue while former President Donald Trump is speaking. With your Fast Fact, I'm Ariante Till.
Over the past month, I've gotten text messages addressed to Uncle Mike, inviting Jessica to a musical, and offering condolences for my parents' passing. But none of them are real. And as that banner shows with my name, they weren't addressed to the right person. It turns out I'm not the only one getting these fishy texts. Several Verify viewers also sent us similar messages and are wondering if it's a scam. So let's verify. Are scammers posing as people who are texting the wrong number? Our sources are the Better Business Bureau, the Federal Communications Commission, and the Office of New York's Attorney General. All of our sources say, while it could be an innocent mistake, these texts are more likely a new take on an old scam. One method is a version of a romance scam. The BBB warns it starts with someone trying to follow up on a date or a dating app match. Once the victim responds, the scammer tries to get them to provide their credit card information to join an adult dating website. The other method is to pose as a professional or to follow up on an in-person meeting, like a vet with information about a pet or an invitation to a musical. Once you respond saying you have the wrong number, the Office of New York's Attorney General says it tells the scammer they've reached an active number. This, in turn, leads to more unwanted messages trying to trick you into giving out your personal information. So, yes, scammers are posing as people who are texting the wrong number. The FCC tells Verify the safest thing you can do is simply not respond to unexpected messages, even though some of them may pluck at your heartstrings. With your Verify, I'm Brandon Lewis.
Are you skeptical of headlines and what you see on social media? We are too. The Verify newsletter answers your questions, clarifies what's true and false, and even includes a daily fun fact. Go to verifythis.com/email to check it out.
One more story before we go. Ellen DeGeneres signed off for the last time yesterday. The comedian and television host was greeted with a 2-minute standing...
Getting choked up, Sam?
Yeah. So, with a 2-minute standing ovation from her audience before giving her final opening monologue. Her first guest on her show way back in 2003 was Jennifer Aniston, and she was also her last. Ellen asked Aniston how she dealt with the end of her hit TV show, Friends. Take a look.
How did you deal with that? Well, the ending of Friends. Well, I got a divorce and went into therapy. And then I did a movie called The Breakup. I just kind of leaned into the end.
And when she was on Friends. We're just commenting on how gorgeous Jennifer Aniston is. She doesn't age. She ages backwards. Ellen closed the show with some words of compassion. Take a listen to what she said.
By opening your heart and your mind, you're going to be that much more compassionate. And compassion is what makes the world a better place. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I feel the love, and I send it back to you. Bye.
Wow. And when she was done, Ellen walked across the stage, took a seat on a couch in front of a TV. Do you guys remember that?
This was her opening.
Yes, mirroring how she began her talk show 19 years ago. I remember that. Unbelievable. Now, you've been on Ellen's show as an audience member.
As an audience, yeah, not a guest.
So
Good to clarify.
Is this crazy?
Listen, I know Tori's rolling her eyes over here, but I'm happy for her. She's changed a lot of lives. She's done a lot for the LGBTQ plus community. She's a pioneer. Everyone wants to focus on like this little thing that she's had in her past. 19 years of doing good and changing people's lives. And I mean, an icon as far as TV, daytime television goes. So I got to give her flowers, Erica. I got to give her flowers, and I'm happy for her.
She's the reason I wanted to stand up.
Because you yanked the end of your show, you use her ending.
No, I don't.
Be kind to each other.
I say be good to yourself, too. First of all, I'm not saying she's awful. I'm saying there was a bad time and toxic environment in which people got fired and things got fixed. She's the reason I wanted to do stand-up. I love Ellen. I think she's done a lovely job, and I'm glad she's going to go have time. She's a great gorilla refugee that she's working on. It's the Diane Fossey. She's picking it up. So she's going to go do her thing, and she really did change the entire narrative. The entire narrative.
And both can be true.
You weren't going that way?
No, but both can be true.
Yeah.
She can be an exceptional pioneer, which she is. She can be an exceptional person, and she could be allegedly someone that contributed to a workplace culture toxicity. We don't know all the details, but today we are going to give her flowers because
That's Erica's word. Tori's not allowed to say it anymore.
I can't too. So congrats to Ellen, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot more from her. DBL's new every day. We'll see you Monday, same time, same place. Bye, guys.
Give her the flowers.
You get some flowers, Ellen. No, you give someone you give them their flowers, right?
That's why you're not allowed.
You give them.
Where hope finds help. Where courage meets conviction. Where makers make fans. We are Tegna, a family of local and national media brands that bring us together, serving the greater good of our communities. Where national know-how backs local business. Be in good company with Tegna.
This June, DBL is holding nothing back. I've already spent my time, my resources, and all of my sanity on trying to make you happy.
Whew, all right. No, we're holding you as accountable adults.
It needs to be changed.
We're in a fight already.
I'm all in with an E now.
You are?
Absolutely not. No.
First girlfriend in Hollywood.
Wow.
Yes, baby.
I'm looking at a cutie, okay?
I love what you're doing. I just want to thank you.
Honestly, that's why we watch.
Right, yeah.
DBL is all new every day.